People sitting behind, can you all shift a little ahead on the front chairs? Also, those who are still having tea, coffee, and breakfast, please requesting all of you to join us back and settle down. We are about to begin. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Can I get some energy back, everybody? Good morning. Well, on behalf of UpTik, it's my pleasure to invite all of you to the iconic BSc Convention Hall for a very, very interesting conference, the International Conference on the Investments and Global Affairs. My name is Mayuri Malankar, and it gives me immense pleasure in extending a warm and hearty welcome to each one of you present here. Before we proceed, requesting all of you to please keep your phones on silent mode. Also, we have cameras in the center, so please do not cross the center lane. Ladies and gentlemen, today's conference is timely and relevant. We all live in a world where capital moves globally, opportunities cross border, and innovation is changing how investments are created, managed, and scaled. From alternative investments and private credit to global fund structure and capital mobility, the investment ecosystem is evolving rapidly. Today, India stands as a very powerful intersection. It is one of the fastest growing economies and a preferred investment destination, a trusted partner in global capital flows. With regulatory strength, digital progress, and strong institutional participation, India is shaping both its own growth story and global investment narratives. Against this backdrop, ladies and gentlemen, UpTik brings together thought leaders, policymakers, institutional participants, and investment professionals to discuss investments, global affairs, and capital innovation while also making key strategic launches that expand UpTik's global presence. So we look forward to a day of insightful discussions, meaningful collaborations, and important announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we move ahead. Before every important occasion, as per our Indian tradition, we light lamp. And this event is very important for all of us. I will request our dignitaries to please come forward for the ceremonial lamp lighting. May I request Mr. Harvansh Chawla, Mr. Ajay Kumar Singh, Mr. Anand Chari, Mr. Bala Swaminathan, Mr. Murgaya Rajaram, Mr. Ram Tillari, Mr. Samir Patil, Mr. Sarvanan Krishnaswamy, and all the directors of UpTik, the managing directors of Fiscal Town, Mr. Vinod Verma, Mr. Dilip Verma, Mr. Mukesh Chaudhary, Mr. Fanindra Chaudhary, all of you to please come forward and face towards the audience around the lamp. All of you please come ahead. May I request Mr. Shampuri and Adler Jay to please come ahead.
Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah. Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah. Shatru buddhi vinashaya deepajyotir namostute. Deepajyotirnamostute. Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah.
Thank you. Let's take one group photo, please.
Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah. Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah.
Are we done? Thank you. Thank you, everyone. You may now take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, with deep respect for our mother nation, let's now unite in the spirit of pride and patriotism, requesting everybody to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जननायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Jai Hind. Jai. Ladies and gentlemen, globally, we are witnessing a shift from traditional asset classes to alternative investments. There is a growing focus on private credit, structured finance, and institutional lending. Governance compliance and risk-managed returns are now central to investment decision. Cross-border fund structure such as AIFs and VCCs are also gaining strong momentum. At the same time, geopolitical developments, interest rate cycles, and regulatory reforms continue to shape how capital is deployed across regions. UpTik's vision aligns closely with this transformation by building compliant, scalable, and future-ready platforms that connect domestic capabilities with global opportunities. With this context, let us now move ahead and acknowledge the leaders guiding us in today's discussion. We are privileged to welcome them on the stage and present a small token of appreciation. May I request Mr. Kanish Gupta and Mr. Vinod Verma to please join us on the stage to present the same to our dignitaries. Please come in the center, sir. We would like to welcome our first dignitary, Mr. Harvansh Chawla. Can we please have a big round of applause for him, everybody? Very, very warm welcome to you, sir. Let's welcome Mr. Harvansh Chawla with a big round of applause. Please hold. Please hold. Please hold. Thank you. Next, we would like to invite on the stage with a thunderous round of applause, Mr. Bala Swaminathan. A big round of applause, everybody. Very, very warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you. Please put your hands together as I welcome Mr. Murgya Rajaram, everybody. Next, may I request Mr. Ashok Kumar Singh. Well, as we all are aware, this event is going live, requesting the photographers to please note that. Thank you, sir, and very warm welcome to you. Next, I would like to invite on the stage Mr. Anand Chari. Very, very warm welcome to you, sir. Please put your hands together, everybody, for Mr. Ram Taluri. Very, very warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you. Moving ahead, may I invite on the stage Mr. Sarvanan Krishnaswamy with a big round of applause. Thank you. Moving ahead, please put your hands together as I welcome on the stage Mr. Samir Patil. Very, very warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you. I would like to invite on the stage Mr. Gaurav Mittal. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite on the stage Mr. Shyam Puli. Very, very warm welcome to you, sir. Next, I would like to invite on the stage Mr. Aviral Jain. Thank you. May I request Mr. Sudhakar to please join on the stage? Very, very warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you. May I request Mr. Satyamurthy to please join us on the stage? Well, with this, ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's welcome all our dignitaries. Thank you, Mr. Kanish. Thank you, Mr. Vinod. You may now take your seat. And now, with this, we now arrive at a very important milestone for UpTik. Ladies and gentlemen, UpTik proudly announces the official launch of its NBFC platform, a step that reflects strong regulatory alignment, sound governance, and focused approach towards institutional lending and structured credit solutions. Before I say anything further, let's have an EV.
Every growing business runs on ambition, on effort, on opportunity, but most importantly, it runs on the cash flow. UpTik, an initiative by Groka Fintech Private Limited, is created exactly to address this challenge, to provide businesses responsible access to working capital exactly when they need it.
For us, brand is not a communication error. It is the discipline to do the right deal right way at every single time.
Timely, structured, responsible.
From day one, we focused on discipline, strong governance, underwriting standards, and execution consistency.
The discipline shows in the outcomes.
It's been a year since inception and 8 months into operations, and we have already uploaded and executed about 19 invoices, funding more than 10 crores in total capital. And for our investors, we have delivered about 16% annual returns with zero delay and 100% on-time payouts.
Consistency builds trust. When investors see UpTik, they should immediately feel one thing. This platform is built to be trusted.
This performance isn't driven by aggressive risk taking, it's driven by structure.
With NBFC backing, SPV-led transactions, and ring-fence fund flow,
Every transaction on UpTik follows a defined financial flow, from verification to escrow, from escrow to repayment. There is no ambiguity and no shortcuts.
As we scale up, our focus remains institutional. Hence, we acquired an NBFC, we applied for an AF Category 2 license, and now expanding into Singapore-based VCC structure, aligning with the global compliance standard. Behind every transaction is a real business. The vendor paid on time, the team that didn't want to slow down, and the companies that could take on more.
at UpTik, we're not just solving cash flow problems. When our investor puts in their capital, an MSME grows. When MSME grows, the nation grows. So every user is a change maker and a part of India's growth story.
At the end of the day, every structure, every safeguard, and every return is our responsibility, and that's the foundation UpTik is built on. This is more than invoice financing, it's how the business keeps moving forward responsibly.
Well, this was our founder's view, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we will launch this MDFC through a curtain opening. For the same, I would like to invite on the stage Mr. Ram Taluri and Mr. Aviral Jain on the stage. Requesting both the dignitaries to please come on the stage. We will hand over the remote. All of you can turn your eyes towards the left-hand side of the stage. We have placed an extra stage towards the left-hand side. On the count of 3, I will request Mr. Aviral Jain and Mr. Ram Taluri to press the button to launch the NBFC. Are we ready? Yes? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin the countdown. 3, 2, and 1. Presenting Badhani Finances Corporation Limited. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the entire UpTik team on this significant achievement. This platform is designed to enable transparent, compliant, and scalable lending solutions while addressing the evolving needs of businesses and institutional partners. Once again, heartiest congratulations to the entire team. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to show you a small AV about the MDFC. Can we please have the AV?
In financial services, trust is not built overnight. It is built over decades. This NBFC carries a legacy of 27 years, experience and regulatory discipline. Today, this legacy enters a new chapter. GrowCap Fintech Private Limited is proud to take over this institution on strengthening it, modernizing it and preparing it for the future. This is the highest category NBFC operating under an ICC category license. A framework built on strong governance, transparency and accountability. Our focus is clear: structured lending, responsible capital deployment, and a long-term value creation for all stakeholders. This platform combines the credibility of a 27-year-old NBFC with the discipline and the vision of GrowCap. A strong foundation, a regulated future, a commitment to do the things in the right way. Legacy, governance, growth.
Right on the stage, Mr. Dilip Verma to share some more insights. Can we please welcome him with a round of applause?
Hello everyone. A very good morning and thank you for being here today. This is a very important day for us and I'm genuinely grateful from the bottom of my heart that you are sharing this moment with us. We just launched our NBFC. Badani Financials is a 27-year-old NBFC that we have acquired. People asked us, why acquisition? Why not a new one? Let me tell you folks, Badani Finance has given us 27 years of operational excellence and compliance. Now just add our future vision to it and it would become a great recipe for us and for our investors. For a lot of people, having a license could be just a compliance milestone. But for us, it's trust, it's discipline, and more importantly, it's responsibility. Let me take a minute and tell you why this NBFC is important for us. In today's financial scenario, returns attract investors, but compliance, it protects the capital. Today, investors are not just putting in their capital, they are tracking where the capital is going to, how well it is structured, and how well it is governed. And ladies and gentlemen, this NBFC is exactly that. It would give strong insights and clear process and higher accountability. Now, at UpTik, we prefer to do things the right way. It might take us some time. We always talk about the investing culture. When some investor comes to us, we try to understand their persona and then we guide them accordingly. We always ask our investors to diversify their portfolio. We don't let them put everything in the same basket. That's the kind of investing culture that we constantly talk about. Now, even before this NBFC, we have facilitated strong lending, on-time payments, and greater transparency. We have some of our users sitting in the crowd today. Try talking to them and you'll understand what exactly I'm talking about. And our track record has been very clear. Commitments made is commitment delivered. Nothing more, nothing less. This NBFC is not a new beginning for us. We are only formalizing what has already been doing. Now, what do we get out of this NBFC? Well, number one, strong compliance. Number two, stronger governance. Number three, greater investor trust. And number four is scalability. Now, when I say scalability, it is the license allows us to grow responsibly without compromising the discipline. When we are handling capital, we want to make sure that we are following the highest possible standards. And now, this NBFC is ICC rated, which is Investing and Credit Company. We believe that the future of investing lies on a platform which is regulated with great vision of the future. And this NBFC, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly that. I would like to thank our regulators, our advisors, my team, my co-founders, and most importantly, our investors, because without your trust, we wouldn't be standing here today. I would also like to thank my parents and my better half who is sitting here today for the constant support with whatever we were doing. And as we move forward, it's UpTik's promise that we will focus on capital protection first, returns will follow discipline, and growth will never come at the cost of governance. Thank you so much once again for being part of this journey. This NBFC is not our achievement. This is a shared milestone. Thank you. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Well, thank you, Mr. Verma. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move into our first panel discussion on the theme Alternative Investments, Opportunity and Risk Frameworks. This session will explore alternative investment products and private credit risk, manage returns and compliance-driven structures, and institutional participation in India's evolving alternative investment ecosystems. I would like to invite on the stage our panel members, beginning with Mr. Anand Chari, former Deputy General Manager, BSc, SME and Startups. A big round of applause for him. Please put your hands together as I welcome Mr. Satyamurthy, CEO of Ashrita Infra Projects, an entrepreneur with multiple businesses in Africa. Warm welcome. Mr. Khanish Gupta, angel investor and expert in wealth management, family offices, artificial intelligence, and intergovernmental affairs. Warm welcome. Please put your hands together for Mr. Shampuli, Director of Ritz Consortium, CEO of Prakriti Resort, UK citizen and a startup investor. This session will be moderated by Mr. Dilip Verma, CEO of UpTik. Can we remove one chair?
Okay, so thank you so much, panelists, for coming here for the panel discussion. So this is one of the two discussions that we are having today. And for the folks, while UpTik has its own views and while you all have your own views, we thought it would be a great idea to hear certain things from the dignitaries that are sitting here who have enormous experience in their own fields. Public markets are usually volatile, yields are uncertain, and wealth prevention has become as important as wealth creation. Alternative investments are no longer optional. They have become core allocations today. Now, we'll discuss where capital is actually going, how risk is managed, and what structures matter. So, dear panelists, we'll try to do this in 3 sections. Probably in the first section, I'll start one after the other. I'll be asking questions, and you can share your views. And in the second round, I would like to ask a quick fire round, maybe one question to each of you, and then you can simply answer in 1 or 2 lines. And then finally, I would like to answer a single question to all of you and would like to hear your views on that one particular question. So let's get started. I would like to start with Anand, sir. Sir, so my question would be, India's SME and startup ecosystem is maturing rapidly. Now, since you have worked with BSE previously, in this perspective, how has investor interest in SME and unlisted companies evolved as an alternate asset class?
Good morning to everyone, and thanks, Dilip, for this question. See, I think this ecosystem, startup and SME has been very pivotal growth for MSSME. And I think the overall, the platform has transitioned from a risky, you can say, experiment to a, you can say, sustainable and institutionalized asset class now. So over the last 13 years, we could really see almost 1,400 companies are listed on both the exchange. And BSE put together, I think BSE individually, somewhere around about 690 companies are listed onto this. So I feel this is going to be the growth story next. And I think everybody is looking out as an asset class where people have started investing over here. Right. And last 10 years, I could really see the kind of money which has been created. I think both the exchange put together, it's more than 4.5 lakh has been the market cap created into this platform. I think this is going to be the next story coming up into this story. I think most of the people will forget the barometer like Sensex is going to be the SME platform, and I think a lot of story is going to be unearthed into this platform.
Right.
I think a lot of story is still there where we could really see the platform is going to unearth.
Yeah, amazing. So one concern HNIs often have with SME investing is transparency and governance. So how is the ecosystem improving in terms of disclosures, compliance, and investor protection?
See, I think in last year you can say, I think earlier we never have seen most of the rejections happening into the exchange. I could really see the rejection of applications which is coming for listing on the SME is upward of 50%. So that has been more of a filter coming up from the regulatory side. And I think BSE has been spearheading it on that platform. And SEBI has been intervening. A lot of stringent rules have been done. In January, they came out with a listing criteria of 1 crore on the EBITDA side, which was not there earlier.
Yeah.
And they have been putting a net worth of 1 crore. And a lot of restriction on the GCP also. The general corporate purpose, there's to have a 25% of the listing size, of the issue size. Right. Now it has been reduced to 15%. And there has been a lot of filter done by the exchange also. Further on, we have restricted that we can't repay the company's promoters' loan and the relatives' loans over there. Earlier, we used to repay the loans also through the IPO issue size.
Yeah.
Now that has been restricted. So a lot of restriction has been put into that. The regulator is also very keenly observing this platform. A lot of action has been there. So they want to restrict problematic things coming up into this platform. So I think this is going to be the thing. We could really see a lot of new regulations are going to be coming up further also, if at all there is going to be any problem. So I think they have been proactive as a SEBI as well as a exchanges put together NSE and BSE onto this platform. So I think compliance is in place now.
Right, amazing. So let's move on to the next question. For an investor looking beyond listed equities, what should they prioritize when evaluating SME or startup opportunities? Is it growth potential, governance, or exit visibility, or institutional participation?
See, I think earlier we used to see companies coming up of 1.5 crores profit, 2.5. Now I am seeing a listed till I was there till May 2nd was my relieving date in BSE. I used to take care of the SME in startup in India. What I could approach that most of the profitability, which was like 1.5, 2 crores, now the upward of 45 crores PAT has been coming up. So a lot of good companies are coming forward. So I feel looking at the trend and everything, we could really see the platform is going into a next level of growth. So what is the question you said? Last one?
So is it?
HNI, no? Okay. The compliance part you're talking about.
So growth potential.
Yeah. So first, the investors who are looking out to invest onto the SME, first they have to see the growth potential. Second important point, what I really tell most of the investors is that see the intention of the promoter. That's very important. Third, I think if the corporate governance are in place, I don't think so there is a problem to invest into any of the companies which is coming on board. And I could really see the potential of this platform is just, we have scratched the bottom now. I think there is a winger's potential to see lot many good companies are coming up. Now today, when we talk about the larger brands, we talk about Tata, Birla and everything. Today, I feel through this platform, both the platform NSE Emerge and BSE SME, we are going to see next level of growth and new brands coming up in next 5 to 10 years.
And finally, do you see SME platforms becoming a mainstream alternative investment avenue over the next 5 years?
See, I've just written an article, I think 6 months back in Daily Hand. The potential of this platform is to list more than 50,000 companies coming up. Yeah. So I feel in next 5-10 years, more and more companies coming on board, it's going to replace the barometer, what I said in the starting of this. I think there is a humongous potential. Still, we are working on 2,400 companies in 13 years of the platform. Right. So I think we started this platform in BSE in 13th of March 2012. And both the exchanges got the approval in 2010. So 1,400 is a minuscule number. And we have 6.5 crore MSSME. There is a potential of listing more than 2 to 3 lakh companies into this platform. So I don't see any reason that this is going to be a next barometer which global is going to talk about next 5 to 10 years at the time, and maximum investments are coming up. And as such, we are talking about the AIF being launched today of Fiscal Town. I think more and more new companies have started floating AIF. More than 2,000 AIF come in the last 5 to 10 years at the time. There is a huge potential. They are launching SME platform and SME focused funds. So I feel this is going to be the next story coming in next 5 to 10 years.
Amazing. So the future is definitely bright.
Very bright, very bright.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks.
I would like to move on to Mr. Satyamurthy, sir, for some of the questions. And also, probably once I'm done with all the questions to all the panelists, let's take some time to the guests here so that they can ask if they have any questions. So, Satyamurthy, sir, since your major background is from real estate, I would like to ask you a few questions related to it, because real estate has traditionally been India's favorite alternative investments, apart from equities. How has the luxury and premium real estate segment evolved post-COVID and post-RERA?
Wonderful. First of all, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to all the people, and especially the dignitaries here, Harshman sir, and Ashok Kumar sir, Bala sir, Rajaram sir, Ram Taluri, and all the panel dignitaries sitting here, Anand Garu and Shyam sir, who's here. And thank you so much first, and congratulations to UpTik in the first place. It has been a phenomenal journey that you guys have. And organizing an event like this in a place where the investment centric for the country, like Bombay Stock Exchange, everybody's aspiration to look forward to a Bombay Stock Exchange, and you're doing an event here, that is a commendable thing. And first of all, congratulations to the youngsters here, Mr. Vinod, Fanindra, Mukesh, and you personally, Dilip. And it's a wonderful question. Okay, and first of all, thank you so much, Anand sir, for answering about SMEs. Because every big company today in India or probably across the world is once an SME, right? It started like a small, medium business enterprise and it became a giant, okay? So, of course, every company's aspirations, and one who become a small company to a giant, the important part is that they've been transparent and, they've been intent enough. They've been concentrated enough, to become a large-scale ecosystem. And, the funds, the AIFs or probably any other funds who's backing them, seeing the intention, seeing the, potential. Of course, you've started an NBFC now. The major focus for you to see, how much collaboration that you want to do with SMEs and how you take it forward to people. And the normal investors who's coming and, watching this show, or probably watching live, a lot of millions of people who's watching live, they want to understand that what should I look up to, and company like UpTik, how it facilitates me. So as an individual investor, I don't know what to see, right? In an SME, what to see? Should I see their balance sheet? Should I see their promoters' credibility? Because it is not evolved yet. It is on the process of evolving. So it is the duty of you guys, companies like UpTik, to see the nitty-gritties and the important portions of the potential of a SME, and how that company can be scaled into a larger organization. For that, I say all the very best for UpTik in the first place. And coming back to your question, Mr. Dilip, into the real estate sector, of course, it's been the financial nerve point of investment right from beginning. We have seen many companies whose interest towards real estate, and it is very important that we invest on real estate. Why? Because real estate is and will always be a backbone of the financial economy. Once a area is developed, a road is laid, an infrastructure has been built, a registrational community has been built, there's a lot of development around it. There's a lot of direct and indirect development that assigns within real estate. And like everybody know, land is limited. People are unlimited. People want to, people are now looking to go to Mars and, lots of stuff like that. So real estate is always a good option, very stable option, very commendable option. Again, companies like UpTik will have to look upon the title clearances, the regulatories, how to invest, where to exit. And like the investor also should have a very clear vision on what risk appetite that I have and how much should I invest and what is the return that I'm trying to take. Hope it summarizes your question. Yeah. Thank you.
And also like to know your views on how the luxury segment especially has evolved in Hyderabad and in India in general.
Luxury segment is one of the prominent segment that is being evolved in India. So everybody wants to have a a premium quality lifestyle. That's the first thing. Like, people growing, people having their lifestyle changes. The first thing is that you have a premium home, okay? Everybody aspires that. It is more emotionally connected to an individual rather than a financial point. So when the emotion is connected, you want to be having a nice home, a nice resort, a nice farmhouse. So the premiumness towards, including into the real estate is always there. But what do you call it a premium? It is the location that the real estate is placed at, or the interiors that you're trying to put at, the build quality that you're trying to put at. You have to make sure you have an equal balance and you don't overboard yourself, finding a right real estate sector. I know I want to have a nice villa beside BSc, but it's not practically possible. So you have to manage somewhere in between, like, about the location, about the quality of the construction and the look and feel of the house, and the realtor who's trying to promote that, it all like, averages out. So of course, premium segment is one of the most ongoing thing, and it will grow always. Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. So, sir, from your experience, where do investors often misjudge real estate? Is it pricing cycles, or is it liquidity? Is it leverage, or is it execution risk?
I would say everything. So when you're trying to invest in real estate, first as an investor, I talk on a basic point, like, where should I invest? What should I invest? How much should I invest? When should I exit? And what is the trying to, leverage it out of it, right? Both on a builder's perspective or an investor's perspective. So I have a nice house, like, emotionally connected house. The second house should, build money for me. It's not about house or a piece of land or probably a commercial asset or whatever you're trying to acquire. It should build money, okay? It should build valuation to you. So it should be a combination of everything. So the person who's trying to build it, the credibility of the company who's trying to build it, and, where is my entry point, where is my exit point? What kind of potential risk? It's, the lot of pre-launches in India has been, on the both sides, like they've been extremely positive, they've been extremely negative. So you need to be very cautious in terms of investment and what kind of leverage that you're trying to take, and what is your exit point. So the important point of investment is that your exit. At what point you need to exit? Where you don't go into a point like, the market is almost saturated. There's no point for you to wait for another 2-3 years just to get, 5-10% more. Rather, you exit at the right point and then you reinvest somewhere else. That's the key of an investor. I would like to recommend the exit point as the major key strategy when it comes to real estate investment.
You also have exposure to assets outside India. How should HNIs think about balancing Indian real estate with global real assets for diversification?
That's a wonderful question. So I've been to multiple places and saw real estate there. I've seen how the real estate spectrum is going on in Dubai, in African countries, in USA, and some of the European countries. It is the opportunity that brings onto the table. Like, India is the most stable in terms of real estate compared to anywhere else. Because of the population kicking in faster and faster, people wanting more real estate is much more higher. Compared to the countries like Europeans, they have abundance in land. The Americans have abundance in land. And the density that we're trying to look at, India is the most densely populated area. So we look on real estate on a very marginal front compared to the world. So I would say you balance it out 50% in India and 50% to the rest of the world if you are an Indian investor, right? So always my leverage in India averages out to the volume that I'm trying to have. If you want to have a 10,000 square foot of land that in India, you can probably buy 10,000 acres of land somewhere else. So you have to balance it out on the leverage of the margins that you're trying to get versus the land mass that you're trying to get, because world is always moving towards real estate eco-friendly. So there you need to balance on the volumes versus the, the valuation perspective of the thing. So I would say it's 50 in India and 50 rest of the world. So wherever you want to go,
Amazing,
right?
amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Satyamoorthy,
much.
sir. And Kanish sir, I would like to come to you now. Uh, since you have huge experience in managing family offices funds, or you have intergovernment relations, and you are into startup funding, so you're into a lot of things. So I would like to ask you, from a family office and wealth management perspective, how are HNIs and UHNIs rethinking their allocation to alternative investments today?
Thank you, Dilip. First of all, we are having a great event and healthy discussions on many things. I have to merge, I guess, both the dignitaries' topics now. One is from the SMEs, 12 years of experience, and one is from the real estate.
Yeah.
So I have to merge both the experience and being managing the family offices wealth and angel investors wealth. Both the mindset are very different.
Yeah.
Okay, so we never compare the angel investors or the normal institutions with the family offices, because angel investors think for maybe a year or 2 years, maybe 5 years maximum they can think of.
Yeah.
And the family offices think for the generations.
Right.
So they think for the decades. Like मैं आज father बनने वाला हूँ तो मेरा बच्चा क्या कमाएगा.
Right.
So this is what the thinking we have to think before we go with the investments and all. Alternatives are becoming very like sir said कि 2000 AIF आए हैं in past few years.
Yeah.
And major AIFs जो हैं वो I guess 3-4 years के अंदर ही आए हैं after
Correct.
COVID.
Yeah.
And we have also started discussions for the AIF like last 1 year and did all the research and everything, and then we come to the point like AIF is very much needed in India. Being supporting the startups, being supporting the SME companies. एक सर ने एक पहले बात बोली थी कि टाटा बिरलास जो निकलेंगे ना वो SME से निकलेंगे अब. Like even you can be one of the company in that. So the startups has to be go through that phases, and AIF will be helping them for handholding them like with the fund resources, all the things. And HNIs पहले जो थे वो सिर्फ एक क्वेश्चन पूछते थे being in investing in the any alternative or maybe like SMEs, और उनका एक ही क्वेश्चन होता था पहले कि कितना रिटर्न मिल जाएगा, how much return I will get. Now the questions have increased because उन्होंने liquidity cycles देख लिए हैं. Like इतने सारे SMEs companies, startups, real estate में like after COVID I guess जितना हमने 10 साल में नहीं देखा वो हमने 5 साल में जितनी cycles देख ली हैं वो बहुत major impact लेके आ रही हैं, and questions of the investors are increasing, and that is a good sign. अगर आप compliances के साथ चलोगे, if you are into the good regulatory features, तो I guess आप grow करोगे, and जो नहीं कर रहा वो definitely वो कोस रहा है, government को कोस रहा है, SEBI को कोस रहा है, whatever the things, because compliances are important for the ecosystem. So पहले जो क्वेश्चन होता था वो that was the portfolio में मेरा कितना रिटर्न आएगा and all things. Now the questions have increased to liquidity. लोगों को पहले पता ही नहीं था कि जब तक पेपर पे रिटर्न बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं कि इस SME कंपनीज ने इतना लिस्टिंग गेन दे दिया, वो दे दिया. सो लिक्विडिटी जब आती है, जब पिक्चर में आती है तो वो बहुत ज़्यादा लोगों को पैनिक करती है. तो नाउ द क्वेश्चंस हैव इंक्रीज्ड एंड मेनी अदर क्वेश्चंस हैव बीन इंक्रीज सीइंग द कंप्लायंसेस एंड ऑल द पार्ट. सो या ऑल्टरनेटिव्स आर being very much into the picture now, and let's see what's fiscal town holds on.
Yeah. So moving on, when advising families, how do you decide between private credit, real estate, startups, or structured products? What drives that allocation?
So from the AF point of view, I don't do. This is the investment committee. We are working with the compliances. We are working with the proper research reports, proper research analyst team, and the investment committee has to go through the various perspectives, analysis, and then they have to decide कि allocation कैसे होगा. And उनका experience, उनकी studies, then it comes to us also after that, and then we do our studies, we do our things and research behind that. So investment committee को बहुत सारे ways के थ्रू जाना पड़ता है, and then they have to decide कि कितना allocation SME companies के अंदर होगा, कितना allocation real estate में होगा, and also the due diligence comes into the picture. It's not just like we have the money and we will be putting into any of the real estate or maybe the SME company. बहुत सारी चीज़ें change भी हुई हैं. First, startups used to take huge valuations, I guess. मेरी सर से काफ़ी regarding discussions भी रहे हैं कि they used to take पीस ऑफ पता नहीं अनाप शनाप एंड ऑल ये सब चलते थे. आज की तारीख में पैट के ऊपर बात होती है कि प्रॉफिट कितना कमा रहे हो आप.
करेक्ट.
पहले होता था धंधा आप कर रहे हो, कितना आप लॉस कर रहे हो, कैश बर्न हो रहा है, इन्वेस्टर्स का कितना पैसा आया हुआ है, वो सारी चीज़ें हैं. आई गेस नाउ सर आईपीओस तो पैट के ऊपर ही इट्स वर्किंग. सेम विद रियल एस्टेट. रियल एस्टेट में पहले कच्चे का माल जब रेरा आया तो थिंग्स हैव चेंज्ड अ लॉट.
Correct.
सो these are the regulatory things. I guess Aviral sir bhi yahin par hain, Arvind Chawla ji bhi yahin hain, and they have laid down the regulatory frameworks, compliances that are on very good grounds.
Right.
And if we follow, matlab, not just AF, even the companies or maybe the entrepreneurs, अगर वो follow करेंगे तो definitely एक long term में पैसा बना लेंगे. हाँ, एक immediately वो नहीं होगा, magic नहीं होगा, but long term में they will be sustained.
Right. And in your experience, what's the biggest mistake investors make in alternatives? Is it chasing returns, or understanding lock-ins, or is it ignoring governance?
See, पहले तो alternatives, I guess अब लोगों को educational they are getting कि alternatives होते क्या हैं. First, it used to be the rich man game. Today also, it's not about the retail investors. हम retail investors को SEBI has the logics about that कि retail investors को AIFs में और इसमें दूर रखें, because it's quite subject to market risk and things. So seeing the perspective, alternatives for the HNIs, family offices, ultra HNI client institution, it has been always on the board. Picture उनके हमेशा होती थी. Now this is now intentional. Intentional basis उनका पूरा analysis होता है, due diligence होते हैं, and now they are understanding कि AF is same thing जो हमारी portfolio में होना चाहिए, and it should be the portfolio enhancer plus risk management system. So this is the important thing जो अब institutional investors, AF और family offices वगैरह समझ रहे हैं.
Amazing. So thank you so much, Kanishk sir, for your views, and I would like to come to Shyam sir. Sir, we know that you are also into real estate, you're into banking, you're into technology, you're into startups, and you do a lot of things. You yourself are look for alternative investments a lot of times. What is one interesting thing, if you are investing in alternative segment, what is one thing that you look for in maybe in startup or real estate? What is that one spark that you want to see?
Thank you, Dilip. Thank you very much. And first of all, very warm welcome and good morning to all of you. It's a very interesting topic. I cannot pick up one single thing. It's a combination and collecting of the dots. But what I can certainly do is I can give my perspective. You know, I'm from UK and I'm a British citizen. I was Indian, obviously. When I come to here after nearly 2 decades, the environment is changed. The way the business we are doing here is completely changed. And I lost some of the ground reality on from an Indian perspective, how the entire landscape of capital has been changed as well. You know, I've set up my businesses in UK and also the banking from ground up, some of the fintechs and initiatives as well. When I come in here, it's a regulation. You know, where do you go, how do you go, and how do you talk to these people in terms of the regulation point of view? It was a tough challenge. So I look at from 3 angles. Number one is mainly from an investor point of view. You divide them into micro and macro investors. What is a micro investor mindset? What do they need to do? For example, if you look at from a regulator point of view, RBI, they will not keep quiet, even though they're big boss. They wanted to make sure the investment is protected. Yeah. If we're talking about micro investment. And they want to make sure that regulatory environment is properly safeguarded. That is from a regulatory perspective. Now, what is about the investor? There's a micro and macro point of view. We talk about whether it's a bootstrapping point of view or the family offices going more on institutional lending. This is a huge landscape where the capital is deployed. So looking at this side of thing, the mindset of the investors, whether that is something like, for example, you can think of interestor versus investor, is a huge mindset. Yeah. Am I looking from an income point of view, or am I trying to create a wealth here? What is that exactly I'm trying to do? That's very important to really understand. When I know exactly, companies like UpTik also, when I look at this, I mean, this has a great potential. And I was keep on saying the same thing to the team as well, right? So now you have the invoice financing from a sales side. You can go to the purchasing invoice. You can go to inventory financing. You can go into, pause loans. There are a lot of things on the micro investment. How do you regulate? So the point I'm trying to put in here is about the takeaway for the investor point of view is to make sure what is my return. When you talk about the return and rewards, there is a risk is always coming in. How do you mitigate the risk? Yeah. So to make sure that risk is compromised, not compromised, and you have the regulators taking care, the entire compliance, how this is being done. So my one thing is the platform evolving has been, today it could be a small investment you're talking about. Tomorrow that micro investor is a macro investor. So that is a journey they are taking in. Look at the platforms, look at the regulation aspect, and see, make sure that compliance and everything is taken care. And the connecting the dots will eventually happen. That's what I would say. So it's not just one answer. There are so many things and different perspectives. You got to bring it here.
Amazing. So previously when talking to Satyamurthy sir, we spoke about investing abroad. Now, since you are NRI, I would like to understand your view on, let us say we have two markets. One, we have real estate in India, and one, we have real estate in Dubai, where one market has high yield and the other market has good long-term returns if invested correctly. So what is your views on investing in India and abroad like Dubai markets?
Certainly, investing into Indian market is one topic. How to invest into Indian market is the biggest topic, I would say. Yeah. Certainly for the next 1 decade, I can confidently say, no matter whatever the outside world, India is the place, full stop. Right. So definitely that is there, right? Of course, there will be selective places where you're talking about real estate, probably, yes, there is a little bit of thing on the Middle East world is going on, fintech and AI, all that US is taking care, yes, of course. But if you really look at the long-term game, India is on the horizon. 1 decade it might take, the infrastructure and things like that has been laid out. So then comes into which place, answer your question, how to do it, that's the biggest thing. And I'm a classic example for that one as well. It's not so easy. Yeah. It's not easy we can say, okay, FDIs and this is, we have a lot of regulations. There's an easy channel. That's no easy channel. So you need to find the right partner, make sure you really understand the game and do that stuff. So how to invest, selecting those partners and making sure that's done. And the regulators also, I think they are making that things possible as well. They are trying to simplify. But where and how is what the question. So platforms, companies, consortiums like this should really help and take it to the next level. That's what I would say. Yeah. Especially whenever I talk about I do go in front of RBI. We talk about some of the investment opportunities. Where do we get in? They may not be a regulator. There might be some circulars they might have released. So this is also evolving from a regulator perspective as well. So now imagine we have UpTik. From a fintech regulated side, it's going on. We have the NBFC, which holds that kind of responsible position, yeah, ticking the box of compliance and regulatory point of view. Attach that to a banking, attach to the escrow, how the regulator will change, the mindset will change. The investor is not purely coming from pure investment or invoice financing. They have other options also opened up. So you open the doors. These are all the things which can be connected, and there is no single thing. But when we go in front of RBI, I do sit in front of RBI, I'll go and we'll request them. They are open for the discussion. They are waiting to hear how you're going to, if not disruption, but innovation, can help this ecosystem. When you're talking about capital deployment, you're talking about risk. And how do you fix that risk is what they're looking for. So that's where I would say.
Okay. So what would you say real estate today? Is it more about study yield or is it about long-term appreciation?
Real estate studying error?
Is it about study yield or is it about long-term appreciation?
Of course, I mean, it is the moment he's the best one to answer that question, but I'll try from my side. Long-term is where you have long-term yield is what, real estate, you're looking at it. But again, as a liquidity point, what Kaushik has just touched on, there are ways how this is going to be changed as well. So you've got to strike a balance. And purely from an investor point of view, are they just purely as an income mindset or wealth mindset, where they're going to fit in? And I would say definitely, long-term yield and the valuation game, where they're going to deploy those capital and how they're going to diversify into multiple brackets as well.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Shyam sir, for your views. Now, we'll just go to the lightning round, wherein I'll just ask one question to each of you and would like to hear in a very simple one-line answer, right? Sir, starting with Anand sir. One factor investors should prioritize above returns.
Above returns is intention of the promoters and honesty, very important point for me.
Amazing. Satyamurthy sir, the same question. Is it yield or capital appreciation?
I would say it's striking a balance. You need to have a constant yield. Also, the long-term gain is important. So you can't just run behind one thing. So it has to be a striking balance.
Amazing. And Kanishk sir, is it real estate or private credit? What's more attractive today?
Merger of both the things, because both the things have the stability.
Right.
One has the assets and one has the long-term game. Yeah.
Amazing. Shyam sir, India-focused alternatives or global diversification?
India with a global investment look at.
Amazing. So now the final one, one question, the same question to each of you. If an investor were to take one smart decision in alternative investments in next 12 months, what should it be? Anand sir.
Invest. Invest in India.
Invest. Satyamurthy sir, same question. So it is if you are an investor and you have to take one smart decision in alternative investments in next 12 months, what should it be?
You mean the sector the point of investment? Or?
Yeah.
I would say in the next 12 months, it is two industries or rather three industries which are going rapidly. One is the technology,
Right.
two is the real estate, of course, it has always been a boon.
Yeah.
Third is the minerals and mining sector. I would say these are the three areas where you get a constant return and the upscaling is always there.
Amazing. Kanishk sir, same question.
Invest in fiscal town. Invest in fiscal
That's the
town.
best answer. Sir, Shyam sir.
Invest first. That's number one.
Yeah.
Which industry you're going to go? Again, it depends on your passion, right? I'm an investor. I like fintech, but if there is real estate booming up, strike the balance, see what you can do. Based on your passion, supported by what the industry trends and how this is going on, figure it out. Healthcare is booming, fintech obviously, real estate, I don't need to tell that one. So I would say, first start investing, no matter whatever it is, micro or macro, supported by your passion.
Yeah.
As an investor, how do you want to see your wealth going? And select the trends. And obviously, Physical Town, UpTik, or other consortiums with the platforms and the analysis and subject matter expertise they are building up, they can help you guide where you want to deploy your capital.
Yeah, amazing. So I think I can say that I came to the end of the questions that I have with me. Let's take a couple of minutes to see if we have any questions from the guests that we have today. So, dear guests, if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer. We could probably send a mic.
Good morning, respected panelists. And I'm Salakshmi Tota, CA and CFO of UpTik. And my question is to you, Anand Chari sir. So, from your experience in capital markets, global finance, and regulations, I would like to know what are the major important developments shaping institutional confidence in alternative investment and private credit ecosystem in India today?
Can you repeat the question once again? Sorry, you're a little faster than me.
Okay, so from your experience in capital markets and regulations, I would like to know what are major developments shaping institutional confidence in India towards alternative investments and private credit ecosystem today.
See, I'll tell you one thing. Earlier when we started, I'll just give you a story. when we started this platform and it was there for working, now I'm working and supporting a lot of SMEs to grow now. पहले क्या था कि we used to struggle to get a good balance sheet actually. So most of the promoter used to come over here and tell me कि सर मैं युधिष्ठिर हूँ, सब कुछ सच बोलता, मेरा balance sheet भी बहुत सच है. And when I see the balance sheet, it looks like a Duryodhana to me rather than a Yudhishthir. So over the period of time, I think a lot of people started investing. Earlier, we used to struggle to get investors. Now we could really see a lot of application. What the numbers have increased from 500 applications. Today, I'm seeing that small SME IPO of 35 crores is being chased by 4 lakh investors. So that's a confidence level. And I could really see during my tenure, 2018, I have listed a company called Synergy Green from Kolhapur. That was the first company in India to get a FII funding. I'm talking about Manchester International investing into that company at 2018. So till the time the company was not listed, people are not noticing or they are not visible. So that had come in 2018. Now I could really see that a lot of confidence has been coming up into the platform, a lot of wealth creation, and more of a transparency has come in, the corporate governance. A lot of AIF has started participating into this SME platform in the last 3 years of the time. Predominantly, I could really see AUM, small bank, SDFC bank. I'm seeing FII funding coming up, and a lot of new institutional brokers and stock brokers have started investing. So I feel this is going to be the story in next few years. You will see that has really changed the platform because a lot of regulation changes happened into this. What I said earlier, there is not much intervention coming up from SEBI earlier. In January, they have totally revamped the listing criteria for the SMEs and startup. So they have put in more stringent rules and regulation. I feel this is going to come up where could really see more participation, more companies are going to list it. So SEBI as well as the exchange are going to be part of this regulation changes. I think more and more is going to come up so that it can filter more company which is going to come on board.
Yeah, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I can very much resonate to that balance sheet thing as a CA. Thank you,
See,
sir.
I think balance sheet, most of the people who come on board where we get advice, we have advised so many people, उनको balance sheet के बारे में ही नहीं समझ आता, उन लोग बोलते हैं balance sheet है. Then we explain them there should be a proper balance between equity and debt. That's the reason it is called balance sheet. So we have to explain them that thing and we are trying to get them. I think we have been doing a fabulous job till now. We have to see how it's going to shape up in next future.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you
Very
for the
much
question.
insightful. Yeah,
Thank you.
So we have someone wanted to ask question. Can we pass on the mic there, please? You already have mic. Okay, please.
Yeah. So myself Abbas. So basically my question is with the whole panel. So my question is that AI is growing rapidly, and to fuel that AI, we need infrastructure like data centers, sustainable energy solutions. So as from alternative investment perspective, investing in those infrastructure that fuels the AI can also be looked upon as an investment avenue. That's the main question.
So thank you. See, our AIF are like lot of things AIF has to be invested in. Saying the data centers, I guess lot of data centers infrastructure is being created in India. I guess Sham sir will be best to answer the data centers across, मतलब कि लंदन में कितने हैं और यहाँ कितने हैं. And AIF is giving all the resources to the new age startups. Basically, AI is a new age thing, and we are supporting them being the startup. There are few commitments to our AIF too with the big SoftBank and BlackRock. So they are also looking for the good startups in India who are working in AI, data centers, and other infrastructure. And we are really looking for any of the you guys working in any of the startup which is working on the AI or something data centers. We are happy to help you guys and discuss further. So yeah.
Certainly, I think, that's, we can see, AIF attached with real estate or some of the industries, but infrastructure, certainly there, I don't know the numbers, but a huge scope. I think from a regulatory perspective as well, there is a lot of things going on.
So yeah, thanks Abbas for this question, and yeah, I would like to sum up and add a little bit more. Your question was majorly into like, should we invest in the data centers as an infrastructure? Is that what I can understand? So I would say yes, it's a definitely yes, because data centers and the AI is going to be the future. So it's going to be all around, and the data centers are the sources and the power grabbers of the AI technology across world. It's just started, it's just peaking, so it's going to multiply exponentially. So not just into the data center as an infrastructure, into the ancillaries of the data centers. So for us to get more data centers, a lot more power is needed. So, renewable energy, or that is the major focus of all the world is right now, okay? In order to get more EVs, in order to get more data centers, in order to get more satellites, more rocketeers, any of those things to happen, any of the robotics to advance, any of the IoT technology to improve, the ancillary products like the renewable energy or the power or the semiconductor industry or the embedded systems or the technology per se as a software, these are the ancillaries which support AI or any other technology that is evolving. So investing in data centers and the ancillaries is always a go-to for the next 20-25 years. I would say it's a strong yes. Thanks.
Yeah. If we don't have any further questions, yeah, I can see one more hand. We'll quickly take that question and probably wrap this up because we have a lot of other programs to continue. Sir, please, your
Good
question.
afternoon, everyone. Myself, Jayesh Chablani. I have a question regarding the real estate. To physically invest in real estate, or there is an alternative like REITs and InvITs? Your views on that?
Wonderful. I'm one of the person to answer on real estate, so I'll take that as a first. Thank you, sir, for asking this question. So, real estate, what is it? Is it a physical investment that you want to put, or is there any alternative for that? Of course, real estate is becoming more, advanced in terms of how people should invest. Asset tokenization is one of the best class things that are happening across globe, and it's not started majorly in India, but in a lot other parts of the world, especially in the European countries. Tokenizing and fractional investment on an asset, like you have a apartment building, you have a villa, you have a piece of land. How do you fractional it and you able to invest on top of it? Like, asset tokenization is going to be the biggest. And I would like to add this point to Mr. Harvind sir, because I was early in the morning, I was asking about the alternative of getting a currency to the BRICS. And, I would say asset tokenization or any asset-based tokenization is always an alternative. I would like to hear more on that from Harvind sir today. So to answer your question, yes, asset tokenization or any tokens that is pertaining to an fixed asset, be it real estate or gold or any other thing that is backing the tokens, that is where the world is going to look forward, because it is very difficult in terms of regulatory, in terms of understanding the ecosystem on a particular country and the laws being provided there. So physical investment onto a physical asset is very, very difficult, especially in a country like India where the laws and rules are much different in each state. So, getting into a technology perspective, and I would like UpTik to just look upon the asset tokenization perspective and, help, people understand the real estate very simply, very easily. So I would say fractional investment and asset tokenization is the best ones going forward. Thanks.
Spot on. I think I want to just add one final point. Asset tokenization along with the shared ownership, especially on the real estate point, a huge space to watch.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you.
Amazing. So,
Sir,
yeah, I think we'll take one more question. We have someone who wants to ask.
Sir, sir.
Yeah.
Namaskar. Namaskar to everyone.
Oh, we have someone.
We have one more.
We'll take the question.
Namaskar to everyone. My question is to everybody that you are investing in technology business and in modernity one, but how much investors are interested in the traditional and conventional business which are making profit and having a asset also compared to the technology one which are running on only computers. So how much investors are interested in investment for traditional business?
आपकी सवाल मुझे जो समझ में आ रहा है कि आप बोल रहे हैं कि ट्रेडिशनल बिजनेस में पब्लिक पैसा डाल रही है कि नहीं टेक्नोलॉजी जैसा, बराबर है ना?
हाँ.
तो देखिए अभी क्या है कि जो मैं बता रहा था आपको कि काफ़ी कंपनीज जो हैं, द कंपनीज विच हैव बीन कमिंग अप, प्रोडामेंटली अगर आप देखें ना, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी में ज़्यादा पैसा आया हुआ है. जितनी भी कंपनियां लिस्टेड हुई हैं, बोथ द एक्सचेंज पुट टुगेदर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में, जहाँ पे एज ए इन्वेस्टर उनको समझ में आता है कि यहाँ पे मैंने कुछ इनपुट डाला, वहाँ पे कुछ रिजल्ट निकला वही चाहिए. And if you have observed also, some trading companies have also got listed. अभी both the exchanges are trying to say कि हमको नहीं चाहिए trading company. ज़्यादा कंपनियाँ नहीं आ रही unless until they are working into a niche area where the margins are very high. I've seen companies have done recently listed. I don't remember the exact name. Pawan Kumar करके नाम है promoter का. Shiv Chemtex करके है. The profit has been upward of 42 crores. They have been dealing into something. तो predominantly company जितनी भी list हो रही है, उसमें अगर assets हैं, अच्छी profitable companies हैं, we can get the company listed, and the fundraising has been happening at a maybe at a tune of 10 to 12 P multiple. That has been the trend in the market for last 2-3 months of the time. Earlier the fundraise happened upward of 15 to 18 before April. So मेरे हिसाब से investor का भी problem नहीं है, because we could really see 236 lakh crores FD में अभी भी पड़ी हुई है. अगर आप देखें asset under management on the mutual fund side is more than 80 lakh crores. So most of the asset management companies are looking out for a new ideas coming up. अगर आपकी company कुछ niche area में काम कर रही है, profitable है, assets है, पैसा निकालना market में बहुत ही आसान काम है. आपको खाली आगे बढ़ना है और आपको decision लेना है. That will be the main reason.
So technology and conventional business both are same, both are running on the same track.
Yes. We have listed so many companies on the technology also. One company I can put it across a furlong distance is Atishay Technology. Just यहाँ से 10 feet के 20 feet के difference में company का office है. So a lot of companies are coming forward. We can list a lot of companies on the technology side also.
And same thing goes with PE investors.
Price to PE, yeah, very much. See, I'll tell you one more company on the technology I remember just now is Iris RegTech करके company है, which is based in Vashi, and we have listed almost 6 years back the company. It is into XRBL and technology. So we have companies coming up. तो आपको निश्चिंत रहिए कि investors आज के तारीख में काफ़ी पैसा लेके आ रहे हैं, and they are looking out to invest into SME as a sector, because the kind of valuations and the kind of multiples they have gotten. Just to quote an example, Bombay-based company Knowledge Marine करके मैंने company list की थी March 2021 में at a valuation of 41. Today the valuation of the company is 3,000, and the price would have moved from 37 rupees today at 2,600 level. So 98 times तो company का return मिल रही है SME में. I don't think so. That type of a valuation and the profitability of the company which got listed at 3.8 crores PAT. Today the tune is upward of 46 crores PAT I'm talking about. So अच्छी company आ रही हैं तो investors भी मिल रहे हैं. Technology या manufacturing ऐसा कोई देख नहीं रहा है. If at all, if it's a good company backed by assets and it's not skewed more onto the debt side and all, surely we can get and connected with the right people in the market and advise you on that.
Well, this seems to be a very interactive session, but due to
I had
time
one
constraint,
question, but,
so we can take further questions offline, please.
All right.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Dilip. I'll request you to kindly conclude the...
Thank you so much, panelists, for sharing your views here and joining us today on this platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's take one group photo. I would like to thank all the panel members and thank you, Mr. Dilip, for moderating it so well. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, continuing with the UpTik's strategic expansion, we now proceed towards the launch of UpTik AIF Category 2. Today, we are honored to be in the presence of a distinguished global leader whose vision, leadership are shaping international cooperation. Our chief guest, Mr. Harvan Chawla, chairman of BRICS, is a key force in driving strategic global dialogue among emerging economies. He represents unity, economic strength, and forward-looking leadership on the world stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to request Mr. Harvan Chawla to please join us on the stage for the launch of AIF Category 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a product podium on the left-hand side of the stage. I will request Mr. Ashok Singh and all the founders to please join us on the stage for the same. So, Mr. Chawla, you have a remote in your hand? Yes, on the count of three. Yes, everybody will join you for sure. On the count of three, we will press the button. Yes, sir. So we have a product podium on the left-hand side. So the product will come out. The logo will be unveiled. All of you, please turn your eyes towards the left-hand corner of the stage. Let me know once everybody is ready. Are we all ready, everybody? On the count of 3, 2, and 1, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this fund structure focuses on a clarity, defined investment strategy, strong alignment between fund managers and investors, and institutional grade governance and transparency. Presenting Fiscal Town. Congratulations and the best wishes for this new journey. Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations once again. Ladies and gentlemen, it also gives me great pleasure to announce Mr. Harvansh Chawla as the chairman of Fiscal Town AIF Category 2. A big, big round of applause, everybody. Let's all open the ribbon together, everybody. 3, 2, 1, and let's do it together. Thank you. Congratulations. I will request Mr. Harvansh Chawla to share more insights.
Good afternoon, namaste. There couldn't be a better venue than Bombay Stock Exchange for launch of an AIF and an NBFC. this is my first visit in this auditorium and in the Bombay Stock Exchange. And I must share, when I put my first step in this building, a song came in my mind and I started humming. It was picturized on Rishi Kapoor ji 38 years ago. Paisa ye kaisa paisa, ho to musibat, na ho to musibat, paisa ye kaisa paisa. On that note, then another song came in my mind, which was sung by Pradeep Kumar ji in 1950. Paisa goal hai to sab kuch hai, nahi hai to kuch nahi hai. Money, cash, investment plays a very important role in any business. I am a very firm believer that money, wealth, cannot buy only two things. That is your emotions, and second is your health. Besides that, whatever money can buy, one should not worry about, because someone or the other, and somehow or the other, we all make money. So let's not bother about things which money can buy. And I'm a very capitalist by nature, and I'm very loud about it. I would like to say that I was told by Vinod Vermaji and Kanishk that they have lined up about few hundred crores for this AIF. And I'm sorry, Kanishk, you were absolutely wrong. The reason is you made me sit in the VIP room and you made me introduce to about 20 people. And I would say the total wealth with those 20 people would be about $1 trillion. So you need not worry about your investments. You have a big and good line. And I must say, I'm not going to name anyone sitting over here because, God knows what else is in closet. But all I say is that you are in right hands. And whomever you made me meet this morning only gives me confidence and courage that what I accepted to be the chairman of your AIF was a right decision. As I tell everyone, based on my personal experience of 35 years in profession of law, I have seen a lot of people growing and then also falling on their face. And the only reason for that was either shortcut or unethical practice. If we can do any business with ethics, even if it means tough road, difficult decisions, even if it means long haul, believe me, it is worth it. I have experienced from my clients who gained wealth within a span of about a year or two. And I was always concerned about them. And they always said, Chawla ji, dekh lenge, abhi to kamane dijiye. But I don't think anyone who said this and who did come out with a shortcut and became wealthy overnight, by overnight I mean even a year or two, could actually sustain his wealth. The government, the regulators are not fools by any standards. We all must know this. If we are going to violate, if we are going to go wrong, if we are going to go unethical, the law, the regulators will catch up with us sooner or later. And we may have to pay and repay in many, many folds, along with a lot of nuisance, harassment, and starting or going back to zero. My advice to everyone over here and to the promoters over here is that trust, as we all have spoken about trust, it is built over years and years and years. It cannot be built in a year or two or three. It may take you sometimes even a generation, but it will be worth it. If you see a lot of businesses, whether we spoke about Tatas, Birlas or anyone, or even for example RIL, all these businesses are in second, third, fourth generations. They have taken lot of credibility, lot of patience, and lot of discipline to reach where they are. So we should not expect something happening overnight. Coming to AIF, I'm going to speak from my personal experience. What I'm going to request Ganesh and Vinod and the other founders is that whoever comes to you with the investment, please do counsel them. And counsel them not once, not twice, but as many times as required for them to understand how their wealth is going to be safe, how their wealth will be invested, and what is in realistic expectations they should have. I have experienced some, I would say bad experiences where I did invest in AIFs and they told me, Sir, Chawla ji, आज 5 crore लगाइए, 6 महीने में मैं 7 दूंगा, 1 साल में 10 दूंगा. And believe me, lawyers have a lot of money, so we waste a lot of money. So I did invest and I lost my 5. Forget the 7 and the 10. So my advice is, and till date, I have nothing good to say about them. Please, and what I feel is that maybe I was wrong in understanding what they were saying, or maybe they were not intentionally guiding me or counseling me regarding the wealth and how it will be multiplied and how it will be used. So I'm not going to get into who was wrong over here. But what I'm going to say is, please do counsel whoever comes to invest to you in your company, and in the language they understand, not only once, twice, thrice. Do keep them in loop on, if not fortnightly basis, at least on monthly basis, so that in case they want to cut short on their losses, they have that option. Not that you tell them after 6 months or a quarter that, sir, we somehow, for whatever reason, it's an X factor which comes into play, that your wealth has eroded by 30% or 40%. That is something very, very wrong. You should give them the option of cutting their losses as early as possible. This is how you are going to build your trust. Kanishk and Vinod, I am lending you my name with only one promise and pledge from you, that we are going to be absolutely fair, transparent, disciplined. We are going to comply with each and every regulation, and I'm going to request you to send me the regulation compliance report every month so that even I'm safe. And please build the trust. Keep in mind, this is a legacy you're going to create for your children, who are going to inherit nothing but your goodwill. Money anyone can make. Goodwill is something which will take at least a generation. And that is what you're going to pass on to your children. India, no doubt, is the right country at this time to invest. At the same time, I'm going to, Satyam sir, where are you? Here you. Satyam ji said that data center and AI is another place to invest. Am I right, sir? You said, or Shyamji said, who said? You said. I have a word of caution. I have seen 35 years of cycle. I have seen people going bankrupt on call centers. People used to say there is a report of so-and-so, one of the big 4, big 5, that call center is the business for next 5 years, 10 years. And there was a rage. Anyone who would get up from his home and say, Dad, मुझे call center लगाना है, 5 crore दीजिए, 10 crore दीजिए. And there were so many call centers, that they all failed. Similarly, I have seen the rage where people wanted to say, हमें restaurant business में जाना है, I want to start a restaurant because one of the big 5 said, entertainment or food business is the next business for India. So everyone who got up and said, Dad, मुझे यही करना है, and the businesses failed because so many turned up. My word of caution to the youth is, do try to do, if you're in business, try to do what your family business is. Try to expand that. Try to excel in it. Diversification should be with the educated risk. And please, with all due respect and with no offense to any of the agencies or the consultants, those who say do this business, do that business, and then India is going to entertain for next 10 years, this or that. I have seen, Satyamji, people failing in real estate in last, I would say, about 10 years. And now the market is picking up again. But believe me, what they have gone through in those 10 years, only they know. You know, being a lawyer, I represent a lot of big real estate companies in India. And I have seen the kind of hassle and trouble they are going through even now to get out of it. The only companies who are surviving and have been able to survive who were asset-rich companies. Those who didn't have assets and were highly in debt, they're gone, they're finished. So caution is must in whatever we do. And at the same time, we all must apply our mind, where do we want to invest? And the choice should be, if there is a family business, if there is a family legacy, please expand in that, excel in that. Nothing wrong in that. And if you want to diversify, please take a small baby steps. And don't overindulge in something which is very new to the family, because you are not only risking your own mental peace, but you are risking the family wealth. So it's a word of caution for everyone. Wherever you invest, whatever you do, it should be a baby step, and don't get carried away by the greed, or this is what my contemporary or my colleague or my friend is doing, so I have to do this. It's a word of caution for everyone. And with that, I would also say Kanishk once again, and Vinod. Where is Vinod? I don't see. Here it is. Vinod, you know, Ashokji and I were just discussing, you look quite like younger Kamal Hassan. So, you know, when you were on here on the dais, we were trying to figure out where have we seen you before. So I said, no, he's not that old that we have seen him somewhere before. So then we realized you look like Kamal Hassan. So it's a compliment to you. Yeah, and yeah. So good luck to all of you over here. Also to UpTik. I'm quite happy to see the growth of UpTik, and I have been, just to let you know, I was the person responsible for getting the policy changed of Government of India for investment, foreign investment in NBFCs. I was on the board and a shareholder of Avco Financial Services, which was started in 1997. It was a subsidiary of Ford Motors then. Then later on taken over by Associate Financial Services, and then taken over by City Financial. So I was a shareholder also, and this was the first company which started consumer loans, you know, which now Bajaj Finsec and others. This was the first company which started. So again, the word of caution over there is, the company did very well. We were the first one to start. Of course, those days it was the valuation which mattered and not the profits of the company. So whenever the management saw we are making 400-500 crores in those days, they said, let's sell it, which is, you know, every management has their own. So what I'm going to tell you, which I have been telling since morning, everyone sitting over there, though you are an investment-based NBFC, investment-based NBFC comes with a lot of regulations also. So what you need to personally get involved is into the finance on daily basis. This is based on my experience, because one step you go wrong from the regulator's point of view, you are risking your entire scheme. And believe me, it's only the promoter who can take the diligent view on daily basis at 7 in the evening, and not your CFO. All that the CFO, with all due respect to anyone who's, and don't mind my saying, and the CFO will say, sorry sir, it was my mistake and I resign. He'll walk out, but you will be responsible for it. So it has to be done by yourself. Anything where the regulators are involved, kindly do not leave. I tell this to Kanishk also, Vinod also. kindly do not leave on your or delegate it to your people down below. This thing has to be checked with your own eyeballs, verified, double verified, and ensured, complied with, and filed with. This is based on my few experiences of life. And thank you, all of you. And one more thing on a concluding note, I didn't want to say that when I was opening my speech. I also remembered few names. And on a lighter note, I remembered Mr. Harshad Mehta. I remembered Mr. Ketan Parekh. I also remembered Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. I have nothing against them. They did. I consider them geniuses, right or wrong. I don't know. I'm no one to judge that. But they made the sentiment of the country go up. They did good for the country overall. Good or bad, legally, I'm not part of it. Thank you, everyone. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chawla, for your valuable insights. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, I will request all of you to please pay attention to the screen as we would like to show you a small AV on Fiscal Town. Can we please have the video?
Most of the investors understand public market very well. But however, private market needs structure, patience, and more clarity.
In private market, returns matter, but structure and governance matter just as much.
That's where Fiscal Town comes in. Fiscal Town LLP is an associate entity created within the Growca FinTech ecosystem, which is built on shared vision of creating a governance-led and an institutionally credible alternate investment platform.
The fund is structured for investors with a long-term view. For those who value process, governance, and clarity,
Fiscal Town follows a balanced investment approach.
This collaboration combines GrowCap's platform building expertise with independent leadership and domain experience to develop Fiscal Town as a more focused and a professionally managed AIF.
Fiscal Town is built as SEBI-regulated Category 2 alternative investment fund. It's designed to offer a disciplined access to private market opportunities.
60% of the funds are allocated to the pre-IPO and late-stage private companies, which are revenue-generating businesses and governance-ready, and approaching a clear liquidity event such as a strategic exit or an IPO. The remaining 40% is intended for real assets, including structured real estate opportunities with high growth potential and asset-backed risk management. The fund is designed for long-term participation in private markets, with a target return range of 20 to 30%, subject to market conditions. On governance, we are pleased to announce Mr. Harvansh Chawla, the chairman of BRICS CCI and lawyer of eminence, to serve as the chairman of Fiscal Town to provide governance oversight and strategic direction. For independent asset custody and reporting, we have appointed Orbis Financial, a SEBI-registered custodian, to ensure transparency and investor protection. We are in the final stages of receiving the SEBI Category 2 AIF license. The private placement memorandum is already into the place. We have already started getting the non-binding interest of letters from family offices, institutions, and private placement. At the core, Fiscal Town is about to make private placements more disciplined and more clearer, ensuring investor protection.
Our intent is simple: to bring institutional discipline into private markets so that our investors can invest with confidence and not uncertainty.
As we move more closer to the launch, we invite you all to join us.
And now I would like to invite on the stage Mr. Kanish Gupta, Managing Director of Fiscal Town, to share his thoughts on the AIF. Can we please welcome him with a big round of applause?
आई गेस हरवंश भैया ने ऐसी स्पीच दे दिया है, हम जो लिख के आए हैं वो तो बोलना बेकार ही रहेगा. So good morning everyone, respected guests, partners, investors and all my friends. We are moving towards the pre-launch of Fiscal Town. It's not just about the launch, I guess. It's about introducing the vision, philosophy and a long-term commitment. Over the years, I have worked with a lot of family offices, whether you take the royal family of Dubai, Bhutan, royal families across the globe. And many of the family offices I have worked, they think in other vision, and that's why we have started with the AF. So 1 year before, when I envisioned how fiscal town we have to take, and I talked to Anandchari sir, I did my research, Sami sir, I guess they are the first people who have helped me to reach here. Always. Thank you so much, sir, for that. And when we was discussing about the fiscal town, it's always about the making a product which is structured, disciplined, and a governance protected and structured, so that the investors are confident and understand the markets very well. And I guess it's been 6 months. Vinod has met, and he also wanted to start the AF and how he can grow. So I found this guy has something different. He has the biggest thing which most of the people often don't have, like honesty. Yeah, so he was very honest and transparent to me in everything. So I was like, let's start and do everything together. So this is how we come with the fiscal town idea, and we started. It's my I am completing my 10 years of my journey here. In 2016, I started working in the field of finance, and it's 2026. Time passes very fast, and in 10 years, I've never seen watch. कभी भी घड़ी देख के काम नहीं करा. So that's why all the stages were open for me. Many of the other stages are also open for us now. So thank you all of my friends, Aditya, Madhav, Gaurav Bhaiya, and you guys are my partner, Dilip, Mukesh, and Funny and Vinod. Yeah. So when I stand here, I was a Sanskrit student. So there was one shlok I remember from here: Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. Excellence and discipline in our action. So this stage is all about that only. As Harvansh Bhaiya said, कि सारी चीजें compliant होनी चाहिए, regulatory होनी चाहिए, and that will be shown in our action, excellence and discipline. So fiscal town will be standing on that part only. We will be following a clear path of compliance and regulatory frameworks laid down by the RBI, SEBI, and all the allied institutions, and we are hoping to make something big. I guess we have got 100 CR of commitments already, but that is, I'm not even seeing Vinod ask me what are the next stages and all. When we were sitting in the boardroom, I feel all the major discussions happened. all the things were in places, and we have the right people on our boat, and they will be the guiding light for us. And thank you, Harvansh Bhaiya, for being the chairman. We will not let you down, that's for sure. And our team will be completely doing wonders in this field. And thank you, Anand Chai sir, for always being guiding light for us. And Sami sir too. It's been, I guess, 2 years we are working, and you are guiding us. Thank you so much for that. And all the team staff, I guess you have done a lot of good job. Thank you so much for being here. आप 5 बजे से you are here. Thank you so much. This is because of you guys. And yeah, I would like to wind up saying we are on the right picture, and we will make a good picture together. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to our next speaker, we would like to show you a small AV on Ashrita Infra Projects, Hyderabad. Can you please have the AV?
We believe that progress begins with vision. We believe transformation happens through commitment, innovation, and responsibility. Founded on a strong ethical value and guided by a future-focused mindset, we are Ashrita Group, a diversified business conglomerate, shaping growth across multiple sectors while creating lasting impact for communities and stakeholders. Our visionary leader, Mr. Satyamurthy, a certified business intelligence expert from Harvard Business School. He has over 15 years of global experience and professional exposure with market giants such as Deloitte, Meta, and Qualcomm. Under his leadership, Asrita Group is driven by strategic clarity, operational excellence, and long-term vision. Backed by a strong multidisciplinary team and an experienced advisory panel, Asrita Group is building resilient businesses with a global outlook, operating across India, Dubai, Kenya, and the United States. Asrita Group operates through 6 core verticals, each working in synergy to form a robust foundation for scalable long-term growth. Asrita Mega Solutions drives digital transformation through IT, cybersecurity, and innovative software solutions. Asrita Infra Projects develops high-impact residential, commercial, and industrial spaces across key growth regions, building infrastructure for a better tomorrow. Asrita Mines and Minerals operates with a strong focus on safety, sustainability, and innovation, engaged in granite and silica mining, gold trading, and lab-grown diamonds. Asrita Agro Industries empowers farmers with end-to-end farming solutions and sustainable agricultural support. Asrita Import and Export acts as the group's logistics backbone, enabling seamless and efficient global trade. Beyond business, Asrita Group is deeply committed to giving back to the society. Through the Asrita Global Foundation, 10% of group's profit are dedicated to education, healthcare, sustainability, and community empowerment initiatives. Because true growth must be inclusive. Transforming vision into reality. Creating progress that lasts. Welcome to the future. Welcome to Asrita Group.
Please join me as I welcome Mr. Satyamurthy, the founder and the director of Asrita Group. With a thunderous round of applause, let's welcome him.
Thank you so much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, first of all, in welcoming our group, Ashrita, with such a nice gesture. And I would like to thank all the dignitaries sitting here, Harun sir, and all the dignitaries here, Rajaram sir, Bala sir, Ram Taluri garu, and Shyam sir, and please pardon if I forget any names. It has been incredible, coming here, standing in front of all of you, and talking about a company that I own. I would take this day, I would take this moment as a lot of, with a great pride, with a great honor, because I started to learn a lot, especially with the words that Harshwan sir spoke a while ago. It is important to build trust. It is important to build credibility. It is important to build value rather than money. That I take that with with greatest pride to my heart, sir. Thank you so much for giving great insights on that. Because Ashrita is built on that. So we are trying to build, the trust and value in the ecosystem. So if you see, we are into different verticals. We are into technology, we are into infrastructure, we're into mining, imports and exports and agriculture. But the predominant thing that we're trying to put is the intent, is the credibility, is the trust that we're trying to create in the people. Because all these giants in the industries haven't come so far in the market without building the loyalty, trust to their customers in whatever they are trying to do. Be it the Tatas, Birlas, whatever sir was mentioning, all the giants, right, from Adanis, Ambanis, and all the people think that building brands, building businesses are easy. No, they are not. Okay. It takes great commitment, right from the foundation level, right from the founders to the lowest of the employees or the stakeholders of a company. They need to have the complete intent, complete credibility, and they have to have the loyalty and integrity towards their company, and that makes it a brand. I would like to thank Vinod and their team for inviting me onto this wonderful event, and I want to personally congratulate them because they took a very great step in their life and in their career. This is an important moment for you guys. UpTik is starting to become a brand. And these are the values and these are the points that you must remember. And you have a great opportunity, great amount of process going forward. And the boon that you guys have is an amazing advisory panel. The experience that they carry, the knowledge that they carry, the amount of exposure into the global market that they carry is an immense backbone. Youngsters like you was trying to develop a finance-based company. Finance is always a risky business. You know, everything is controlled, everything is like regulated, everything is into, structured. And especially what Mr. Ganesh Gupta has mentioned, they are trying to make a difference. They are here to stand, they are here to stay, right? In order to do that, you have to have that strong mindset. It's not going to be easy to build a brand. There will be very typical hours. There will be very, crucifying and crunch times that you must go through. Like, it's just a beginning and you will have a lot of, crunch times going forward, but you should stand. You should make it to the ground and, make sure that people, all the investors of yours are safe. Investors first approach will always take you a long way ahead, and I congratulate and as this event grows, and first of all, thank you so much for all the dignitaries coming here and all the people who turned up into this event. I congratulate all of them and welcome all of them. This is a wonderful platform. UpTik, Physical Town, and the the Badani NBFC that we're trying to launch is a wonderful platform. All they're trying to make is put all the opportunity as well as the regulation, as well as the transparency and credibility into picture in one place. They are SEBI regulated. They're having a banking as a financial sector. They're having UpTik as a business opportunity where multiple people come and grow. So it's a mixture. It's a wonderful mixture with all the advisory panel that you have. And I'm sure this is going to go a long way. And I personally congratulate all of you. And thank you so much for inviting Ashrita Group to this dais, and I'm feeling extremely honored and to have a word in front of all this big people. And I also wish Ashrita as a very good partner to UpTik and other verticals. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
Come here. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a lot of respect and regard for this man for what he has achieved so far. But once I just saw on the AV that he gives 10% of his profits for CSR activities, I think that is amazing and that deserves a special applause and an ovation for you. Thank you and God bless you for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We are honored to have you with us today. And before we move on to our next panel discussion, we would like to present 2 awards. I'll request Mr. Vinod Verma to please join us on the stage to present the same. The first one goes to Mr. Samir Patil. I will request everybody to please put your hands together as I invite Mr. Samir Patil on the stage. Thank you, sir. Next award will be presented to Mr. Anil Chari. Mr. Chari. Mr. Anand Chari. Okay. We will present it later. Thank you, Mr. Vinod. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, to the second panel discussion on global affairs and cross-border investment landscape. This session will cover global capital flows and geopolitical dynamics, offshore investment structures, and international fund domiciles and India global investment corridors. I will request our panel members to join us on the stage, beginning with Mr. Bala Swaminathan, CEO of SAI ML Singapore, former president of Westpac and board member of Straw Acquisition Company. A big round of applause for him. Next, I'll request Mr. Murugaya Rajaram, chairman and partner at K&L Gates Straits Law. Big round of applause for him. I'll request Mr. Ajay Kumar Singh, Vice Chairman of BRICS Chamber of Commerce and Industries. I'll request Mr. Ashok Singh as well to join. Next, I will request our moderator, Mr. Vinod Verma, the CEO of UpTik, to kindly join us on the stage. Very, very warm welcome to all of you. Over to you, Mr. Vinod.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a genuine privilege to have here today, to be sitting with such distinguished people who have moved capital across the world and understand this market like no one else. Drawing from global policy, institutional investing, international law, and banking, this panel offers a 360-degree view of how overseas investments are evolving in a world marked by rapid change and growing complexity. At a time when investors face shifting regulations, geopolitical uncertainty, and tighter scrutiny, such depth of perspective is essential. Overseas investment today is no longer guided only by opportunity. Support responsible, long-term cross-border investments. I look forward to hearing the great insights from such dignitary guests. Thank you for joining us today. So first, this question is to all panelists. Global capital today is mobile, but trust is not. From your perspectives, what actually determines where capital gets deployed across borders? We'll start with Ashok Kumar. You on it. Global market today is mobile and trust is not. From your perspectives, what actually determines where capital finally gets deployed across borders?
Yes, really you are asking very good question. Trust is the most important thing for any business or for any investment company or for any investors. I think कोई भी इन्वेस्टर जब कभी इन्वेस्टमेंट कंपनी में किसी इन्वेस्टमेंट को लेकर के आता है तो सबसे पहले उनके दिमाग में एक ही चीज़ होता है कि हमारे पैसे की सेफ्टी जो है कैसे हो, सेफगार्ड कैसे रहेगा। जिस तरीके से अभी पूरे विश्व में मतलब आंतरिक स्थिति चल रही है उसमें रिस्क काफ़ी बढ़ा हुआ दिखता है इन्वेस्टर्स को। तो ट्रस्ट सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट है। हमारी प्रधानमंत्री हमेशा एक ही चीज़ कहते हैं, सबका साथ, सबका विश्वास और सबका विकास। इसमें भी कहीं न कहीं मतलब जो है ये बातें तभी सत्य हो पाएगा जब मैं समझता हूँ कि ट्रस्ट बना रहे। इन्वेस्टर जब कभी आता है आपके पास में तो उनको अपने पैसे की सेफ्टी चाहिए होती है। वो एक ही चीज़ सोचता है कि मैं आज देने आया हूँ, कल मुझे वापस में क्या मिलेगा। तो किसी भी कंपनी के लिए मैं समझता हूँ कि ट्रस्ट को बनाए रखना, उसके लिए सबसे पहले तो सरकार रोज़ नए नए चेंजेस कर रही है, किसी भी तरीके से इन्वेस्टर का भी जो है सेफगार्ड बना रहे। तो हमें सबसे पहले जो है बायलॉज जो भी चीज़ें हैं उनका पूरा ख्याल रखना होगा, उसके हिसाब से ही कंपनी को चलाना होगा। क्लियरिटीज़ मतलब जो है रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ज़्यादा है इन्वेस्टर की, इन चीज़ों के ऊपर पे भी ध्यान दें। मैं समझता हूँ कि इन सब बातों को ध्यान में रखते हुए आगे बढ़ें तो कंपनी पे इन्वेस्टर का भी विश्वास बना रहेगा और इन्वेस्टमेंट मैं नहीं समझता हूँ कि कोई दिक्कत होगी, क्योंकि आज पूरे विश्व में सबसे सेफेस्ट जगह जो है वो भारत, हमारा जो है देश, ये दिख रहा है। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, sir. Sir, the same, Rajaram sir, the same question. We would like to hear your perspective.
Let me start by thanking you. When I got the invitation, I was very impressed with someone so young is embarking on such an exciting journey. And then sitting there and listening to Mr. Chawla's conversation reminded me of years back. And it's an easy question for me. I come from a small country. I'm from Singapore. I was born here, I went there 70 years ago. Have been there since. We have nothing. What we have gathered the trust. And that's on a lot of things that Mr. Chawla said. Transparency, a good system, and be open about it. And you talked about your weekly reports or your monthly reports, extremely important. And just look at Singapore. We have no problem getting investments in. We have a long queue of people waiting to get in. We vet them because that's where we have earned. And we've earned it solely by building trust over the years. And you're starting, you're young. I say everything positive here. You just got to maintain the same pace of activity and build up the trust. Everything else follows. Investors and businessmen are not interested or not worried about losses. We know there's an equal chance. You either make money or you lose money. You can't say they make money all the time. But when they do suffer a loss, they want to know why. They want to be given an early option of exit. Again, I've got to repeat what Mr. Chawla said. And on that kind of background, you build. And that's where the exact story of how Singapore has got to where it is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such great perspective. Bala sir, I'd like to hear it from you.
Firstly, again, like Rajaram sir, I would like to thank and applaud Vinod, Ganesh, and the entire UpTik team to have put together this fantastic event. One of the fundamental principles of an event like this, and indeed, as you're building a great organization, is to become part of thought leadership. And I think today has, in my mind, the first 2 hours has been a great approach in how we think about building business. And I was telling Mr. Rajaram sir that Mr. Chawla's speech was very pointed in that direction. And in some of the advice that he gave, I think the UpTik team will truly benefit. Coming back to the point of trust, I think it's very interesting and it's very topical. Trust has always been an issue. And if you study history as I do, and if you look at history of money, over 2,000-3,000 years that money has existed. From the time the first silver coin was produced, I think somewhere in now modern day Turkey, there has always been a question of how do you trust the system to give back the money that you gave the system. In this, there are two major counterparts. There's the issuer and there's an investor. And sitting between the issuer and the investor often are intermediaries such as UpTik. And when there are multiple intermediaries, and today's world where geopolitics has become a very important and interesting subject, to have that transparency and communication, that the interests of the investor and the issuer are aligned become very important. I think when you look at trust, it comes back in my mind, trust can be a very esoteric word. It can mean lots of things to lots of people. When a husband gets married to wife, there is trust. In the world that we are in, and when we come down to finance, in my mind, the meaning of the word trust must reflect only on one thing: alignment of interest between issuer and investor. To Rajaram sir's point, if that alignment means profit, so be it. If that alignment results in a loss, so be it. How do you get that alignment? Understanding very clearly what the investor wants and developing your product suites and solutions to what the investor wants. Regular communication. What Chawla sir said, not only with the chairman, but regularly communicating with your investor what is happening and making sure that at all points of time the investor is constantly updated, not just on the performance of your company, but the factors which determine success or failure. I think if you can get alignment, you will get trust. Before I conclude, I think trust is again a very funny word. I like Mr. Chawla's sense of humor, so I will borrow from that, sir, with your permission. You take out the word T from trust, it becomes rust. And that's the difference between a good company and a bad company.
Thankful for the joyful perspectives that you always give, sir. Sir, so my next question would be to Ashok Kumar, sir. From a BRICS perspective, how are global geopolitical shifts and evolving economic alliances influencing cross-border investment flows today?
मैं समझता हूँ कि चावला साहब का जिक्र कई बार आया इसमें। इन्होंने अपने संबोधन में सभी चीज़ों पे प्रकाश डाल ही दिया है, कुछ कहने की और ज़्यादा आवश्यकता बची नहीं है। फिर भी मैं समझता हूँ कि ब्रिक्स काफ़ी सोच समझ करके जो है ब्रिक्स कंट्री एंड बियॉन्ड, इसमें अभी पहले तो 5 कंट्री से स्टार्ट हुआ था, फिर 10 हुआ, प्लस इसमें और रोज कुछ न कुछ बढ़ ही रहे हैं। तो ब्रिक्स का रोल जो है बहुत सही रहेगा और कई चीज़ें मतलब जो है ये लोग आपस में मिल कर के सोच रहे हैं, कर रहे हैं। इस वक्त में जो विश्व की स्थिति चल रही है, हर तरफ में कुछ न कुछ डिस्टर्बेंसेस हैं। अमेरिका के संबंध में अभी हम लोगों ने देख ही रहे हैं कि किस तरीके से जो है नए मतलब जो है उनके कभी टैरिफ से संबंधित, कभी किसी और देश को संबंधित चीज़ें आती रही हैं। तो उधर रशिया और यूक्रेन की जो है चीज़ें हैं, उससे पूरा यूरोप भी प्रभावित है। तो सब तरफ जो है सभी एक साथ अगर हम देखें तो विश्व में ब्रिक्स के जो हैं उसमें खास करके भारत, इंडिया की तरफ जो है लोग देख रहे हैं। और मैं समझता हूँ कि इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए अभी सबसे अधिक भारत जो है का एटमॉस्फेयर हर तरह से सूटेबल है। यहाँ पे बिजनेस में भी जो युवा लोग आ रहे हैं रोज़ नए, तो उन सब का भी जो है आज आप लोग भी जो हैं अपटिक ने भी एक नया मतलब अध्याय शुरू किया है। हमारी हार्दिक शुभकामना है कि आप आगे बढ़ें। जितने लोग यहाँ पे आए हुए हैं निश्चित रूप से एक विश्वास के साथ आए हैं और उस विश्वास को आपको बनाए रखना है और यहाँ पे इन्वेस्टमेंट की कोई कमी नहीं होने वाली है। निश्चित रूप से जो है पूरे विश्व से लोग यहाँ पे इन्वेस्टमेंट आए।
Thank you, sir. My next question would be to Bala, sir. From your experience in Singapore, what typically attracts global capital towards structured offshore vehicles rather than direct investments?
It's a great question. Let me preface what I want to say with some statistics to answer that question. There's a significant global shift happening in the flow of money. In the last, let's say 100 years, from industrial revolution up to what we saw recently, a lot of the flow of money was institutional. So it was corporates, it was large institutions, it was banks. That shift is now moving towards family offices, multi-family offices, and a lot of private wealth. Let me give you one number. We all know what is the total GDP of the Indian economy is, 5-6 trillion. Do you know how much money in the next 10 years is going to move generationally within families from one generation to the other? I'm not talking of institutions. I am not saying how much will Reliance move by. How much will the wealth move intra-generational from one generation to other? UBS has put out a report 2 weeks ago that is $80 trillion. Just let that sort of evolve in your mind. $80 trillion, that is 16 times or 15 times India's GDP. That is the amount of money which is going to move within the family network. Now you come down to the next generation of families who are inheriting this wealth. This wealth is coming, a lot of this wealth is coming in financial assets, shares, maybe digital currency, gold, silver, etc. The next generation is now wanting to believe in a much more balanced world. Things like what Mr. Satyamurthy is saying of the foundation that he's setting. So the objectives of what this next generation is going to do with the wealth is going to be very, very different than what they did in the past. With that preface, I'll answer your question. This is where countries like Singapore come in, which give you a very robust regulatory framework to be able to deploy that money in a manner in which, again, coming back to what I said, there is alignment between what you want to do and what objective is achieved. Reserve Bank of India, for example, put out a paper in, I think, 2 or 3 years ago, recognizing international VCCs as a framework. And they basically said it has to be from jurisdictions where governance compliance is very robust. And trust me, there are very, very few countries in the world which offer that framework. So if you want these generational wealth investors to invest in structured products, in alternate investments, where liquidity is not guaranteed by the market, but liquidity is guaranteed by a structure, then you need to be in a place where the regulatory framework is very high. I mean, we are sitting in Bombay Stock Exchange today. Why is Bombay Stock Exchange relevant? Why is any stock exchange relevant? It is relevant because it does a very simple role. It guarantees settlement. Why does it guarantee settlement? Because when I sell a stock and Vinod, you buy the stock, there is no guarantee that I will deliver the stock to you, and when I deliver the stock to you, you will make that payment. That's why stock exchange exists. The moment you go to the alternate investment market, including structured market, private credit, there is no stock exchange. When there is no stock exchange, how does that settlement happen? So it is going to rely on the robustness of infrastructure, financial infrastructure, to be able to guarantee that settlement. And therefore, I think countries like Singapore are going to play a very, very large role in the future in making this happen. Not just from the perspective of what Rajaram said, that as a country, we have, huge amount of trust. But if you look at it very carefully, Singapore is one of the countries which has stayed away from this whole way of geopolitical issues. I mean, India will say, oh, China, we don't want to touch. Somebody will say, Dubai smell test. The Supreme Court has said, oh, Mauritius, unless there is mind and body, we will not accept. Singapore has answered all those questions. So I think Singapore is not just in the top quadrant, it is the #1 country to attract global investments.
My next question would be to Rajaram, sir. From a legal standpoint, what are the most critical considerations Indian investors overlook while structuring overseas investments?
I don't know whether our friend Mr. Chawla, we are both from the same tribe. See, investors want certainty of outcome. Right decision, wrong decision, we get into a dispute. We want to make sure that there's a framework that will give you a certainty of outcome within the shortest possible period. There used to be a joke, and it's no longer true. Indian system has improved. My grandson will see your grandson in court. There's a length of time taken. In Singapore, 18 months is settled. And that's one of the plus points. And I'm very, very cautious. I'm speaking to an Indian audience. I used to chair the Singapore Indian Chamber of Commerce in one of my conferences. They say, you're a village. You don't compare yourself with us. So I am conscious of that. But I think investors basically want, as Bala said, certainty of outcome, a robust system that is implemented. We have alternate dispute systems. India is also developing arbitrations, mediations. And I think all this goes towards building the attractive points. Someone said the next 10 years, India is a good place. I think the next at least 3 decades, India will continue to do. And I call the next 3 decades, decades of what I call triple I. Together with India, we have Indonesia and Indochina, minus Myanmar. If you look at demography and you look at the growth factors, they're all growing. Microfinance is booming in all these places. So what you're doing here is being replicated across these 3 other jurisdictions. And the alternative market includes private credit. Everybody wants to get involved. They want to make sure what the exit, they're not sure. If I go into a private investments, the alternative investments, how do I get out? What is the certainty that somebody will buy me out? How long will it take? What if they don't list? So these are things that you have. And as long as you have certainty in your products, I think you'll continue attracting investments, not only from your local population, but also from the international population.
Thank you, sir. My next question would be to Ashok Kumar, sir. Sir, do you see Indian investors underutilizing global opportunities due to policy perception gaps or rather than actual regulatory barriers?
मैं इस विषय में एक ही चीज़ कहूँगा कि मैं बेसिकली फाइनेंस साइड से नहीं हूँ, इन्वेस्टमेंट के संबंध में बहुत अपना ही विचार सिर्फ रख सकता हूँ। इस चीज़ के लिए मैं समझता हूँ कि हमारे दोस्त आला साहब बैठे हैं, वो ज़्यादा अच्छे से रिप्लाई कर पाएंगे, तो मैं उनका विचार ही सुनना चाहूँगा अगर
Sure, sir. Yeah, please.
Happy to answer that question, Vinod. I don't think I don't think it's an issue of regulatory constraint or policy perception. The reality has been that all investors have their one objective in mind when they invest, right? It changes as you course, but the one objective is how do I maximize return? That is always then somewhere along the path comes the objective of saying how do I not maximize return, how do I maximize risk return? But in the journey of investment, first thing a person always says is, मैं कैसे सबसे ज़्यादा पैसा बनाऊंगा? Then he comes and says, no, hang on, I need to now align it to risk. The Indian markets in the last several years has been one of the most outperforming markets. So you pretty much did nothing and you could make, like you put money into a SIP and you could make 20-25%, even adjusted for dollar return, it was 14-15%. It beat any asset class anywhere in the world. Real estate over the last 4 or 5 years has done extremely well. So the investor did not have to think. He would put money and he would get money. But that has changed. I think 25 was the first year you saw that the Sensex actually did not deliver the sort of returns it did. Real estate has become flatter. So now, coming back, I think one of the points which, I don't know what previous speaker made, that diversification becomes very important. Again, history, we all will say diversification is absolutely a must, but you know, somebody won a Nobel Prize to say diversification is an absolute key element of risk management in financial theory. Now, it's intuitive, but nobody does it. Somebody won a Nobel Prize for that, right? So when you think of diversification, you start thinking of diversification not just geographically, but you start thinking of diversification globally. And I personally think, as I speak to a lot of family offices, high net worth individuals, people are now beginning to allocate between 15 to 20% of what they have, their net worth, to global assets. It's not to say that India will not be the most performing market. Indeed, I would say that global investors need to allocate money to India, but equally, Indian investors need to allocate money overseas. And there is neither a policy constraint nor a regulatory challenge in doing it. Reserve Bank of India has been absolutely clear. I commend them. They have maintained the LRS policy for several years. They have come with a family office policy. Authorized dealers have the ability to remit money if you do the right things. So I don't think there is any issue with either policy. I think it's just that people need to be aware that if you look at a portfolio construct, if you look at a balance sheet, you need to have both domestic assets and international assets.
Since we heard from an Indian investor point of view, staying on the same question, sir, how do international investors evaluate Indian origin capital differently once it comes through globally recognized structures?
How do international investors
how do international investors look at Indian investors?
see, capital is capital. Let's come down to this, right? You might, when it comes to vegetables, you may make a distinction between organic vegetables and inorganic vegetables. You may make a distinction between fair trade and non-fair trade. Capital is capital. One of my bosses, who was the chairman of ICICI, told me, never look a gift horse in its mouth. If you're getting money, take it. I don't think international investors are as worried about where their capital comes from. Having said that, they now want to make sure that the capital, when it comes back to Mr. Rajaram's point, there's certainty that they will get their money back. So it must come from a jurisdiction where they know that when an exit happens or during the course of the investment, there are no speed bumps. And again, I'm not a legal expert and I don't want to make any point on law here, but if you look at the recent case of which on Tiger's exit, on the Mauritius case, and again, I'm not saying the judgment is right or wrong, but it creates uncertainty. So to remove that uncertainty, investment through a jurisdiction or through a structure in a jurisdiction is better. It does not mean that money will not be taken if it comes from somewhere else. I'm just saying that it is better.
This is to Rajaram, sir. Sir, how does the VCC framework in Singapore address governance, flexibility, and investor protection compared to older offshore structures?
Firstly, VCC is a regulatory entity. It's regulated by Monetary Authority of Singapore. Lawyers involved in cross-border financing transactions know how strict the requirements are. So when you go back and say, as opposed to a normal company, a VCC structure is a regulatory entity without the costs associated with a full regulatory entity. If you go to a direct fund under the Monetary Authority of Singapore, your regulatory cost is very, very high. Your compliance cost is very high. You must have two representatives, compliance officers, you know what they cost in Singapore. So BCC is a structure that enables you, in addition to having variable capital component where you can have different shareholders at different time, and you can have different class of subscriptions. All that aside, I think the most important thing is you tell yourself that I run my financial management in a way that can withstand scrutiny by one of the toughest scrutineers in the world. MAS is probably second only to the, I don't know whether the English or the French, or the Swiss are worse. I will rank MAS as the toughest regulator in the world, followed closely by the Swiss regulators, and then UK. But you're telling the investor, look, I am taking money on a VCC structure. I am prepared to be scrutinized by one of the top regulators in the world, and that speaks volumes. If you are afraid of being supervised, you will not go for a VCC structure. You go for a VCC structure and you are making a bold statement out there. So that to me is the most important thing about VCC. It gives you a stamp of saying that I am prepared to be scrutinized from the word go.
I'll add one thing to that. I think the important thing in a VCC structure to the older structure is a VCC structure allows you to create non-commingled investment opportunities. So when you go into a VCC, you're basically protected by the walls of the VCC. Your investment will not be impacted by the fund manager's other investments. So it can be cocooned within a structure. The previous structures had cross defaults, has ability, if the fund manager goes down, the structure could go down. But the VCC, because of the points which Rajaram sir said, the regulators allowed it to be in a non-commingled format.
This question is to Bala sir. how important is exit planning in overseas investments compared to domestic ones? And where do most investors get it wrong?
I think exit planning is important wherever you are. Having a time frame of when you enter, what is the process, what's your exit is very important. I think where investors get it wrong is only one word. I mean, that is again, word has haunted us for 2000 years. If you go back to studying history of money, that word will keep coming back. That word is called greed. It is only because of greed, and if what Mr. Chawla said earlier, if you heard his good advice which he gave, it comes back to that, is, if you're not greedy, if you have a systematic approach to investment, if you know what your objectives are, it could be 12% for someone, 15% for someone, 8% for someone. If you structure your investments in that manner, I think you will manage your risk better. It's only when, like he said, मैंने 5 करोड़ लगाया, 7 करोड़ होगा, 10 करोड़ होगा, 20 करोड़ होगा, that sort of stuff is when things happen. There are people who make money, but there are more people who get it wrong. I think having a very clear idea of what the exit mechanism is and having your product designed to align to that exit mechanism, I think will remove elements of greed, at least from the fund manager's perspective.
Let me just add, I think the exit strategy is the most important consideration, especially for someone like in my age group, right? For me, the first thing I look for is how long would I do and when do I get my exit? So clear exit strategy, irrespective of the class of investment, I think is one of the more important considerations, perhaps more important than even the rate of return or the risk of the tech.
Having said that, I keep banging my head. He told me earlier in the morning, I take a big hammer and hit myself because I bought silver at $12 and at $40 I sold. My exit strategy was $40. Today's $99.
How many people over here are from Bombay Stock Exchange or into stock market? Lots, I guess. I would like to say, Bala and Rajaramji, one thing. I'll just like to say something. I don't think it was in my profile. I've done my master's in law from Georgetown, USA.
I saw that, sir.
And I did my thesis on stock market. And I think I must say that because we all are talking about our experiences, but I would like to say destiny plays a very big role in what we come out and how we shape out, irrespective of what lessons we give you, what experiences. So when I wrote my thesis, final thesis, before I was saying goodbye, and I was, by the way, AAA student. So one of the only few students who scored AAA in all the subjects. And when I wrote my thesis on stock market, it was for 1,208 pages. And the last concluding sentence made it go for publication in World Bank Journal. And you must hear that statement. You must hear that last sentence. I myself demolish my theory, as only God knows why stock market rises and falls. So please remember, destiny plays an important role in whatever we do.
I agree, sir.
I had to intervene on this one.
रोज सुबह हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ो.
As a closing question, this is to all panelists. How do an Indian investor wants to begin overseas investing responsibly? What is one principle they should never compromise on?
So I can start. I think not one principle, but I would say 3 or 4 they should never compromise on. I think selecting the people they partner with, I think is absolutely important, because you're not sitting in the same country. You're sitting in India, and if your fund manager is in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Cayman Islands, Singapore, Hong Kong, you have to select the right counterparty. I think that's the first thing. Second is what I think you said, or one of your co-founders said, is you don't put all your eggs in one basket. you have to make sure the allocation that you do, especially when you're investing in an overseas country, is a percentage of your total net worth. It cannot be your total net worth. And I think RBI has been fantastic in setting that framework through the LRS framework, right? $250,000 per person per year. I think that sort of caps it in some ways. I think I would say that's the second principle, which is very important. Selection of fund manager, making sure that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. And third, which is absolutely important, is having an understanding of what the investment is. I think just the fact that, I'm putting money into dollars somewhere without really knowing. See, when you're sitting in India, you have you're reading Economic Times, you're reading Business Standard, so-and-so companies coming with an IPO, so-and-so companies ka kya result aaya, all these things. But when investing in an international market, you may not have access to that data unless you specifically go and subscribe and look for that data. So if you're investing money, invest some money in the education of where that investment is going as well.
Yeah, I think all those are important. I do nothing to add on, weigh the risk and risk appetite and everything else. But I think the most important thing is the quality of the fund manager. I said earlier, you don't make money in all your investments, but you want to make sure that the loss is because of an economic factor and not an integrity factor. So integrity, and it comes back to trust of the fund manager, is the most important factor. Making or losing money, silver is so early, there's always somebody else who buys from you, so he's luckier. As Mr. Chawla said, destiny, nobody knows when it goes up. Even God doesn't know, maybe. I'm not sure God knows. Otherwise, all the priests will be very rich. So I don't think, all those are okay. There's no difference for local investment. But the integrity and trust issues are the most important consideration, if you ask me. And remember when India first opened up, and Manmohan Singh was your finance minister, and Chidambaram was your commerce minister. Singapore, I came with my prime minister on a delegation, and they asked us to channel Singapore investment. And my prime minister then, Goh Chok Tong, said, let's start a Singapore fever. I was then the vice chairman of the Singapore Indian Chamber, so we started a fund called Parameswara, started a company called Parameswara Holding to do the Bangalore Technology Park. So we went and raised money. We had people who invested in us, only $20 million, and I'm talking about 30 years ago, 20 million is a lot of money. We took minimum investment was 10 million, so we had about 1,000 over investors who came. They trusted us. They didn't know what India was. India was just opening up. But that 1,300 people got 10 times their money 20 years later. We paid them and I wound up the company. We all put our own money in. We got nothing for management fee. But the important thing is they trusted whoever the face of the company was. And their trust paid off. We could well have lost because of Bangalore Technology Park, phase 1, we lost money. We made money somewhere else. But all those are decisions they were prepared to. But the most important thing is trust of the fund manager or the company that will do that.
मैं समझता हूँ कि फिर बात ट्रस्ट की आई है अल्टीमेटली। तो ट्रस्ट निश्चित रूप से जो है सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर है। जो भी फंड्स आते हैं फंड मैनेजर के पास में, मैं समझता हूँ कि किसी न किसी रेफरेंसेस से ही फेस वैल्यू जो है सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है। और अपने फेस वैल्यू को बनाए रखने के लिए जब तक आप सोचते रहेंगे कि नहीं हमें किसी भी स्थिति में अपनी क्रेडिबिलिटी को ख़राब नहीं करना है। ज़्यादातर क्या होता है कि लोग प्रोमिसेस कर देते हैं कि मैं आपको, जैसे चावला साहब ने कुछ समय पहले एग्जांपल दिया, एक 5 करोड़ की जगह पे 7 की जगह पे 10, तो निश्चित रूप से ग्रीड में लोग इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं और जब कभी भी जो है उनका वो पूरा नहीं हो पाता है तो उसमें जो भी फंड मैनेजर्स हैं सबकी बदनामी होती है बेसिकली। और कहीं न कहीं जो ट्रस्ट टूटता है, तो ट्रस्ट को बनाए रखना सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है, मैं यही कहना चाहूँगा।
Uh, I leave the floor for a couple of questions. If someone wants to know about overseas investment, you can hear directly from the panelists. One or two questions. Okay. Yeah. Can you pass on the mic? Can you pass on the mic?
Hi, very good afternoon, and it's amazing to hear all of you. Also, Mr. Chawla, I am actually making notes, all the way in my phone. Just a question I want to share that I am at my business at a very nascent stage. Even have not tried anything related to stocks and just learning financial knowledge. I just want to know, how as a beginner we can learn more about these firms, from you guys. I'm sure, you guys also must have started somewhere. So where can I learn and also, make a legacy for my kids?
There's, from where we started, there was nothing. There's a word in Urdu, khun faya khun. So, जब कुछ भी नहीं था, तब कुछ भी नहीं था. But today there is lots of opportunities, especially in a place like Bombay. There's humongous amount of opportunities to learn. BSc itself has got lots of tutorials and stuff like that. But I'm not promoting, but an ex-colleague of mine, both KPMG and Standard Chartered, Jatin Lodaya, he runs a financial awareness course, free of cost, for anybody who wants to learn. Fantastic modules. He's built extensive modules on financial literacy across Indian markets, international markets. So people who want to learn, there is enough today available, online tutorials where you can actually learn. Honestly, it's a bit like swimming or cycling. Okay. You cannot learn until you get into the water or get on a cycle. So you have to ultimately get into the water or get on a cycle. Practice, make mistakes, learn from the mistakes. We've all got bruises. There are several bruises in our body. Chawla ji spoke of one bruise. We can talk of 20 bruises each. There are lots of bruises. But unless you're on the field, learning will not be complete.
Sure, thank you. I just want to add one last thing. My name is Shubhjeet Kaur Malhotra, and as Mr. Chawla just shared, that he also remembered a song. Me being a Punjabi, I actually did pranam to Bombay Stock Exchange building when I entered. So this is genuinely a very nice moment for all of us. Thank you.
You're in very good company with Mr. Chawla. He's the global ambassador for Punjabis.
And I'm here with my son, he's just 15 and I actually brought him here from Delhi that, he should be introduced to all these things.
Very good.
Thank you.
We will take one last question. Yeah? Say
Hey, hello sir. I work for one of the private equity firms back in US. So what I see basically here is there are so many powerhouses back in West. They started much earlier in this alternative investment spaces. And the fund they acquire basically the trust basically from the HNIs and the institutional funds. Now, how do you see this kind of environment being created in India where we are building such powerhouses in the alternative investment spaces and gaining the trust of these HNIs, institutional funds? They also have already options into floating their funds into onshore investments and everything. But how do you see we're able to create in India like these kind of powerhouses where everyone has access to investing into these spaces?
I think it's a question of time, and the time is right now. If you are coming from US, these structures have existed for a very long time in the US. Capital flow in the US has been huge. The US economy has $39 trillion of debt. They add $2 trillion every year. They're staggering numbers, right? So when you look at the financial muscle of America, it's vastly different. But if you look at India, India has gone from 1.4 trillion to 5 trillion in the last 10 years. Between 2014 and 2025, we've grown 3 times. And it's going to be a matter, in my mind, I mean, I completely agree with everybody who said this, that in the next, now we've got the benefit of compounding, we've got the benefit of overseas investments, we've got the benefit of more companies listing in the stock market. I think this 5 trillion will become 20 trillion. Whether it becomes in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, doesn't matter. So you've got to take a view that in 10, 15, 20 years, we will be where America is today, or was 5 years ago. And then you start by saying, which are the animals which are going to populate that jungle? And I have no doubt in my mind that institutional groups, PE, VC, large companies will actually become prevalent. I agree with you that if you look at the size of Ps today in India, they're not of the size of global. You don't have a like a KKR or whatever. I believe the biggest P in India is, I'm told, I may be completely wrong, is Blackstone, which is 65 billion or whatever. And you go to America, 65 billion won't even probably, be in the top 10. But I just think that in the next 15 years, with the flow of money, with the opportunities that India is going to offer, what you're saying will happen. I think it's already started happening, and this will gather great momentum. People like UpTik, Fiscal Town, who are all coming in, could well become these powerhouses, as you call them, of the future. So I think the time is right.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll take further questions offline over lunch. So I'll request you to please conclude the panel discussion.
Thank you for all those perspectives. What clearly emerges from this discussion is that overseas investment today is not about chasing geography. It's about choosing the right structures, jurisdictions, and governance frameworks that allow capital to grow responsibly and endure over time. Thank you to all our panelists for sharing their insights, and thank you for all being part of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's quickly take one group photo, and then we'll proceed further. Requesting everybody to be seated because in some time we will be breaking for lunch. So ladies and gentlemen, do not leave. Thank you. Requesting Mr. Kanish to stay back with us. Kanish, sir, please stay back with us. We would like to present one award to Mr. Anand Chari. Please join us on the stage, sir. Can we have a huge round of applause for him? Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to announce We Write Exchange as the knowledge partner for the UpTik International Conference. We Write Exchange, India's own and the world's first structured investor engagement and leadership dialogue platform, is redefining how serious capital conversations are conducted through structured dialogue, leadership insights, and transparent engagement. The partnership brings depth, discipline, and long-term perspective to today's discussion. We also request everyone to follow the UpTik company page for regular insights and leadership dialogues. Ladies and gentlemen, moving ahead, almost coming towards the climax of this conference, ladies and gentlemen, UpTik now takes a decisive step into global fund structuring with our next launch. Requesting everybody to please turn your eyes towards the screen, and may I request the team to present the UpTik Singapore VCC Structure Launch AV. Can I request everyone to please settle down?
Every day, global trade moves billions of dollars across oceans. Yet the financial systems supporting this trade remain outdated. Singapore touches every major shipping route. Over 300 vessels dock here every single day. But behind each docking vessel lies a hidden liquidity gap. Marine suppliers operating on a long credit cycles without scalable banking support. Each vessel requires high value, short duration supplies, documented, auditable, repetitive and essential. This creates a multi-billion dollar opportunity hidden in plain sight. UpTik introduces a new financial layer for the global maritime trade, transforming marine supply credit into a structured institutional-grade investment engine. Built on three pillars of global trust, a mass-regulated Singapore VCC structure, trade credit insurance embedded at the invoice level, and escrow-controlled fund flows ensuring full transparency. The result is a short-duration, high-rotation credit strategy designed for investors seeking international diversification, measured risk, and disciplined return profiles. Insurance, liquidity, velocity, transparency. UpTik Singapore.
Okay, I was not expecting this. Well, thank you so much, everybody. And with this, we move ahead. It's time to hear from the most awaited personality. Ladies and gentlemen, with us today is the CEO of UpTik to address the outline of UpTik's long-term vision and global roadmap, the commitment to governance, transparency, investor trust, strategic insights, shaping the future. I would like to invite on the stage Mr. Vinod Verma with a thunderous round of applause. Come on.
Respected dignitaries, honored guests, and my esteemed panelists, and members of the global investment community, as we come close to today's conference, I would like to begin with a simple thing. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your presence. And most importantly, thank you for the intent you brought into this room. Hosting this conference at the Bombay Stock Exchange is not just a proud moment for us. It is a responsibility. BSE represents discipline, trust, and long-term thinking. Those are the exact values which we are trying to build UpTik. UpTik is not created to sell financial products. UpTik is created to build investment culture, a culture that is transparent, investor first, and deeply disciplined. When we started this journey, one insight became very clear to us. Most of the investors are not short of intent. They're short of clarity. People want to invest. People want to grow their money responsibly. But the investment world today has become noisy, complex, and often misleading. Hence, investors get confused on where to invest. So, we made a conscious choice early on: education before allocation, understanding before execution. At UpTik, the first conversation with any investor is never about returns. It is about listening to them. We try to understand how much they're comfortable investing, how much risk they can genuinely take financially and emotionally, whether they're looking for short-term returns or the long-term wealth creation. And if it is a long-term, do they want monthly returns, or are they looking for quarterly cash flows, or are they comfortable letting money compound quietly over time? Some investors value predictability and liquidity. Some want steady income. Some are willing to lock in capital for long-term compounding. And many want a balanced mix. Until we understand who the investor is and how they want the money to be working for them, there is no product will make sense. Only after do we speak about where and when to invest, and matching investor persona with the right product has always been the top priority at UpTik. For investors seeking stability and lower risk, we have consistently delivered predictable, structured returns in the range of 13 to 15% with capital protection, visibility, and clearly defined tenures. For those who are willing to take moderate risk, we have enabled 16 to 20% returns while actively managing downside exposure and aligning investments with their objectives. And for investors comfortable with higher risk and higher volatility, we have structured opportunities delivering 20 to 30% and above, with diversification, controls, and thoughtful asset selection. As investors evolve, some seek exposure beyond traditional products. For them, we are building structured opportunities through Fiscal Town and AIF Category 2 platform, designed for higher risk, higher return strategies aligned with longer horizons and clearly defined risk frameworks. For investors looking at international diversification with measured risk, our Singapore VCC structure is being built to offer stable returns ranging between 16 to 20%. In every case, one principle remains constant. The product never leads the conversation. It's the investor persona, their risk comfort, and objectives, and their exit plan always do. Because number has never been an important part, the alignment is. One of the hardest decisions we took as a company was not chasing AUM. We said no repeatedly. Over the last year, we nearly rejected 80% of the vendors who approached us, not because they lacked ambition, but because they did not meet our standards of credibility, compliance, and reliability. We choose to grow slower but stronger. And that discipline shows in our outcomes. There has been returns delivered on time every single time, zero delays and zero NPAs. Our growth has not come from noise or hype. It has come from investor confidence. For us, trust is not a statement on a slide, it's an experience. Transparency is not a policy document. It is how we operate every single day. And experience is not just about returns. It is about how confident an investor feels throughout the journey, explaining risk honestly to them, planning exits thoughtfully, and being present when market feels uncertain. This is the foundation of UpTik. What truly differentiates us is not what we offer. It is often the discipline with which we decide what not to offer to them. Today's launch reflects that philosophy. Our NBFC with ICC license, our Fiscal Town as an AIF Category 2, and our expansion through Singapore through the VCC structure. These are not announcements for scale. They are commitments to regulatory strength, to institutional governance, and to long-term credibility. We also hold one belief very strongly. No investment is truly good until and unless it has a good exit strategy. Every investor we onboard, regardless of ticket size, gets an exit plan aligned to their objectives, their timelines, and their risk comfort. For us, this is non-negotiable. We do not want investors to choose us because we are an NBFC, or because we are an AF Category 2, or because we run an STI model, or because we are a SEBI-registered Category 2, or because we have Singapore VCC structure, or even because of the distinguished people that are associated with us. We want them to choose us for the culture we are trying to build, the kind of transparency that we are trying to show them, and for the model that we have built and the trust we have earned over years. For us, growth is not about how much money we manage. It is about how well we serve the people who trust us with it. The association of Sri Harvansh Chawla-ji, the chairman of BRICS CCI, reflects the belief in this culture. The presence of Bala sir or Rajaram sir or even JK sir coming all the way from Singapore truly reflects the belief in our mission. Before I conclude, I want to thank my co-founders and our advisory board, Harvansh Chawla sir or Kanish Gupta sir. Without you, nothing would have been possible today. We are very thankful for it. And to Shampuli sir, who has been our guiding force from day one. And to finish it off, in our platform, we never call investors investors. We call them change makers because they are the ones who are shaping up India's growth story through their responsible capital. Lastly, I would like to close by saying UpTik is here to stay. UpTik is here to deliver experience and happiness alongside returns and to ensure that your money matters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Verma. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the conclusion of International Conference on Investment and Global Affairs. Thank you so much for being a part of this event. And now I'll request everyone to please join us for lunch. We have our internal awards that we will continue requesting the employees to please sit back and others to please join for lunch. I will request Vinod sir to please join us back as we continue with the awards. The first award goes to Sai Charan Lakvarpu. May I please request Sai Charan to please join us on the stage? Sai Charan is here. So to save the time, I will request the next one to be on standby. May I request Ms. Kavya Paidi to please join us near the stage. Ms. Kavya Paidi, please join us on the stage. Next one goes to Katti Nagarjuna. Katti Nagarjuna. Thank you. Next one goes to Ajmera Chandulal. May I request Mr. Mukesh to please join us on the stage to present the next award. Mukesh sir. Thank you, Vinod sir. Next, I'll request Ms. Veena Chaudhary Anna Battani to please join us on the stage. Next award goes to Alam Shetty Pravalika. Next one goes to Tejasvi Vasiraju. To present the next set of award, may I request Mr. Fanindra to join us on the stage. Thank you, sir. Sir, please. Next award goes to Kuttila Bhanupriya. Next one goes to Bharti Nimbakar. She's not here. Anybody on her behalf? Can someone come? Next one goes to Gotapu vs Pavan Lakshman. Next one goes to Lokesh Kunap Reddy. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. With this, we conclude our international conference on investment and global affairs. And with this, Anchor Mayuri Malankar signing off, requesting all of you to please join us for lunch. Thank you. May I request Mr. Vinay Kumar to please join us on the stage? Vinod sir, please. May I request Mr. Girish to join us on the stage? Presenting the award to Mr. Girish Gopalakrishnan. Sir, others are not here. Mr. Uday is here. Presenting the next one to Mr. Uday. Next, I will request Mr. Swapnil Mishra to please join us on the stage. May I request Mr. Gaurav Mittal to please join us on the stage? We exchanging the MOU for the order of, order of 50 crores. Requesting Mr. Vinod to kindly exchange the same. Thank you so much.